I've often thought about what would the perfect player look like.
It might play the game in a completely different way from the way that we play it.
As a chess player, you want to know more about chess, you want to get deeper, and there is so much still to learn.
AlphaZero played a match against Stockfish, which was the strongest computer that we all knew, and it won the match.
And all of a sudden I thought, wow,
does this really work? How does it know how to do it?
I started thinking, oh, it's quite interesting. And there's just a couple of games that went bang.
And these were very exciting games, very attacking games, giving pawns away right at the early stages of the game. The other computers were thinking, well, that's too early.
AlphaZero doesn't have any rules. It learns through experience.
Really didn't think there was room for this huge attacking style, never in my wildest dreams.
There's even more depth than we thought in chess.
It's like discovering the secret notebooks of some great player from the past.
It explains AlphaZero's strategies.
How does AlphaZero think? AlphaZero blows apart what traditional engines are doing. Hello, and welcome to this stream again for round 3 of the Caplin British Online Chess Championships.
By the end of tomorrow, we will know who has qualified to play in the British Championship finals.
Yeah, and that's a pretty strong event. There's obviously GM Michael Adams is leading the field, but also Grandmasters like Matthew Turner, Mark Hebden, Bogdan Lalic, and other strong players like Amit Ghazi, for example, and the Welsh and the Irish and the Scottish champions. So it's going to be a really great final and well worth qualifying for.
And the winner of that tournament could be pre-qualified or could be one of the players coming out of this qualifying event today.
Exactly. And so there's it's only 5 rounds, and yeah, there's a whole bunch of players on 2 points. We had one sort of, I guess you'd say, semi-shock last round, where top seed Peter Sauer was held to a draw by George Miller. I think I've got the name right. And that was a very interesting game, actually. Very interesting strategical Tarash. Black played very, very well to hold the draw. So yeah, that was a small mini shock. For the rest, I think most of the favourites are on 2. Apart from there's a couple of strong players who've had a bye. One bye, but yeah, no, I think most of the strong players.
4.5 should be enough, though. I would think to qualify.
4.5 should be enough. That's right. Yeah. I think you can have one misstep, but obviously with so many players and a short tournament as well, I think I don't think 4 out of 5 will qualify. I think that will be a bit tricky. So 4.5 or 5 just to make it certain. It's so what are the matchups of the round, Natasha? Have you got some favourite matchups that you want to see?
Yeah, sure. So on board 1, we have Declan Shafi against Simon Smith. And so that's a match, Scotland against England. So that will be an interesting match. And then we have Peter Finn against Tom Villiers. Now, Peter Finn is one of the Finn brothers. His name is Checkmate-a-lot. So we'll see if he manages to checkmate Tom Villiers, who featured on our commentary last round. The other Finn brother is, so that was board 2. The other Finn brother is Chris Finn, who is called Let Me Think. And he has the down float actually to Peter Sauer. So I think we should follow both the Finn brothers this round.
Indeed.
And see how they do. I'll also be interested to see James Merriman actually is on board 4 playing Tristan Cox. And James Merriman is called Nightmare Freddy, and he is the son of John Merriman, who I have played many times, and who is, I think, still an active player. And he got even more active again when his son started to play. So it'll be interesting to see how Nightmare Freddy does against RockTroll, which is Tristan Cox. Also, Shreyas Royale, Killer M3000. Is going to be playing Ethan Rathbone Jones. And also, so there's plenty of actually good matches to watch. On board 6, we're going to look at Julia Volovic, who's playing Simon Wilkes. In fact, the only one of the top boards I haven't mentioned so far is also board 3, which is Matthew Payne, Tao's Tactician, against Harry Evans. And we saw Matthew Payne get a very quick win, actually, as Tao's Tactician in an earlier round.
Indeed, and maybe a little shout out to Rob Wilmot, who's on board 13, playing against Jude Shearsby.
Okay. Oh, yes, that'll be an interesting one as well. Indeed.
So, well, we've known Rob for many, many years. Very nice guy, chess trainer, and strong player as well. And
and he's also the director of membership, I think, for the ECF.
Exactly. That's right. Yeah. So it's so we'll definitely have a look at him as well. It's so there's some very good matchups, and I think it's going to get more and more exciting. And obviously, it's going to get. I think you need a big score to qualify. I think so. Everyone's going to be playing, for wins. So should be good fun. Should be really nice.
And actually, at the top of the women's, there's also some interesting matchups. So we've got young player Imogen Dyson for England against Scotland's Alice Lampard. And that's on board 1. Board 2, Raelyn Pasodas against Lindsay Pune. We saw some of Raelyn's game in our commentary this afternoon. And then on board 3, Julie O against Irish player Hannah Lowry O'Reilly. And then on board 4, we've got Irish Suzanne Barry against Maria Emelianova. And Maria is the top seed for the tournament. She did drop a point in the first round, we think, through a misclick. So she is trying to battle her way back into a qualification spot.
So plenty to play for and plenty of exciting games, I think. So hi, Satya. Nice to have you on the channel. So it's going to be a very good matchup. So just something about the time control. So it's 45 minutes plus 15 seconds increment. So the game lasts about 2 hours, in a full session. What happens is that the arbiters start all the games individually on chess.com. Quite a bit of organization there. They're doing a fantastic job, big shout out to them because it's a hell of a lot to manage and they're really doing very, very well. So normally what happens is the games start at 7, but obviously the arbiters are going around starting up the games. So normally by about, 6 or 7 minutes in, then we've got pretty much all games going and we can just hop from game to game. Last time they got Peter Sauer's game on board 1 started, I think, virtually instantly. So that was great. That was good to follow. So we'll keep an eye on board 1 and, hopefully that'll start. But do bear with us for a few minutes then at the start and then we'll get going. And we're just going to have hop from game to game, have a look, whenever there's something interesting. Natasha's our roving reporter, having a look at all the games, seeing which ones are worth doing, and then we just highlight them. And certainly, people in the chat, if you have a game that you think is exciting, you want us to look at, or if you're a parent.
We will have a look.
If you're a parent and your child is playing, or if you've got a friend that you want us to put in the spotlight, then just do tell us, and we'll have a look. That's what we're here for. So I'm really going to be really looking forward to this. Going to be quite exciting, and of course there's a lot of chess coming up in the next few weeks. So and we're going to be covering a lot of it. So after this qualification, then the standard final begins, which is 9 rounds, slightly longer time control, 60 plus 15. And as we said, featuring many of England's top players, England and Scotland and Ireland and Wales' top players. So should be a very good event. And then somewhere towards the end of the 2 weeks, we've got the rapid final and also the blitz final and also the bullet final as well. Yeah. I'm not quite sure how we're going to commentate on bullet. But, we'll give it a go.
1 minute.
It's going to be a little bit like horse racing, I think we're really going to be.
We'll just pick 1 game per round, maybe.
I don't think we're going to be able to swap too much with those, but it's going to be good. It's going to be good, and there's some. The entries for the bullet and the blitz, they're very, very strong. We do have some very strong blitz and bullet players in the UK. So that's
Matthew to play some of those.
Kind of. I'm not sure. Yeah, the blitz, kind of. I'm not sure. We'll see. You never know.
Yeah,
but,
you could always play and stream at the same time.
Yeah, that's kind of difficult. I tried it. I mean, we tried it with with Lawrence Cooper's birthday blitz tournament, which was a lovely tournament he organised for his 50th birthday. And he organised a number of tournaments, and one I tried to stream, but my PC found the streaming.
Yeah, it does slow you down, doesn't it?
A little bit heavy, so I certainly couldn't play Bullet like that. Blitz is possible, but it's very good fun. I mean, but I do think I'm the wrong generation for Bullet. I'm afraid. I just I used to be good. I used to be good at Bullet. I really did, but just nowadays, I mean, I'm losing so many games now. And I was having a look on Lichess, chess.com, just watching a few of the top games, and it's just amazing. I mean, how do these guys play this quickly?
How can they even think so fast?
Yeah, well,
you have thought of it. How can you even play the move?
How can you play the moves that fast? I mean, that's the thing. I mean, I don't. I just can't understand that. I mean, there was a match recently between one of these speed challenges between Hikaru Nakamura and Maxime Vachier-Lagrave, and the 1 minute section was just ridiculous. I mean, they were really playing well, with just instantly all the time, So no, it's quite a special skill. Of course, Hikaru's grown up with that, and actually the modern top players have grown up with it. I mean, in my day, we all, well, I don't know we all, but a lot of people like me, followed Botvinnik's advice that playing blitz was bad for you and you should avoid it. But all the modern players they're just fantastic at blitz. They play huge amounts of it. So different way of training. It's always makes me think of of how AlphaZero trains, because AlphaZero trained playing 44 million super fast games against itself, and builds up huge experience and all that. And I think the modern players playing all that blitz online, they build up a huge amount of experience.
The thing that AlphaZero can do is remember, play 44 million games and remember them all, and from each one learn a little bit and improve a little bit. Exactly.
Yeah, don't know how effective humans are in in learning specific lessons from each game, but it must be. I think you just simply look at how strong the top players are nowadays and how they've grown up playing all that blitz. It must be useful in some way. Well, I regret it a little bit now because I really kept myself away from blitz. I think I missed a lot of fun actually. So it's just.
You did other things, I'm sure.
I did other things. I did other study, but yeah, I think it's certainly a valid way of training, I think, and improving yourself. Certainly, what it teaches you, I think, is how to play all sorts of positions and not to get despondent when you're worse, but you always believe that you've got a chance with blitz because mistakes can always happen. And I think that mentality is really, really good. And you see it simply that the top players like Nakamura and Magnus and Caruana and all these players, they're all fantastic defenders. You can't put them away easily. Whereas in my day, we were a little bit more dodgy defending. It was whereas all of the top players nowadays are really good.
What Keith Alker was saying was he likes to learn by watching blitz, so he can just watch game after game, and he finds that I think he enjoys it more than studying books, say. Yeah. I mean, you can learn not just the natural reactions of players. You watch somebody like Magnus playing, 3 minute or 5 minute, and very natural play, and then you just sort of you understand very nicely. What's his natural instinct about a position? What's he really thinking about? And that is quite a nice training as well. It's we mentioned this in Chess for Life, of course. That was one of Keith's tips, and very nice. So what I'm going to do now, though, is that it's 7:02. So I'm going to share my screen. Tell me, Natasha, if it's all goes well, because sometimes the sharing I have to do it a couple of times in order to share my screen. But let's have a little one. Chess.com. Bang. And sharing, and now it's come on, and I'll spotlight it. And what you should be seeing now, Natasha, is a big board and then two little people, and that's I can see that, and I can see this pawn about to promote.
Indeed, I lost. That was a bullet game. I lost on time with mate in 4, so there we are. That's just how it goes in Bullet. Let's have a look. Shall we start on board 1 then?
Yes.
We're going to see whether...
I'm just trying to find this mate in 4.
It was knight e4 to g3 check and then queen h5 check. But
Okay.
I didn't quite manage to make knight e4 in time. Obviously, I would have needed a few seconds to finish off there. Let's have a look. So this is
Declan Shafee.
Declan Shafee against Simon Smith. Simon Smith, that's right. Yeah, so I got a bit confused with his username on there. So how did it start? Very typical there. D4, knight f6, c4, e6, knight f3, b6, and now knight c3. And yeah, many options for black here. 2 main ones. One is to play bishop b7, and the other one is to play bishop b4. And black has played bishop b7 here. So and now what can white do? White's got 2 possibilities here: bishop g5, pinning the knight. Also a3. The Petrosian system is a very well, a very common way of playing. Although, funnily enough, I read a book recently about Petrosian, and they said that he didn't actually play his system very much. So it wasn't actually one of his main ideas. But this is...
he was probably just good at getting things named after himself.
Indeed, indeed. So this is a very quiet line. White's just aiming to play bishop d3 and presumably then b3, bishop b2, and just going to develop quite quietly. So not much theory in that, just going to be all about good play. So should be an interesting one there. Quite interesting to see actually that you know, on the chess.com ratings, black is quite a bit higher rated than white, but in actual fact, in over the board ratings, white's got a rating of 2166 and black has got a rating of 1966. So in principle, white is the favorite in this game.
We have a question from Satya. Will we comment on the junior finals? And I think that I think we'll probably drop in on some of the junior finals, depending on what the timings are. So our sort of main sessions are for the championship itself and the women's, and then depending on the timings of the juniors, we will try and drop in on some of those games.
Yeah, there's quite a few other events, so yeah, we will try and do some stuff on those, but obviously the main focus is the women's and the Open Championship. You know, those and all the different disciplines. You know, blitz, rapid, standard play, and bullet as well. So okay, well this one has started. That's the opening is quite quiet there. Let's have a look at board 2 then. See whether we've got a board 2. Have we got a board 2? Tom Villiers.
Yeah.
Not yet for me, it seems. So let's have a look.
Logged off automatically due to inactivity.
My goodness me.
Let me just get back on it.
Let's have a look. We'll have a look, see whether Shiraz has started yet. Observe Killer M.
Yeah, Peter Finn Tom Villiers is started. It's a Sicilian.
Okay, I'm gonna give that a go because I'm.
It's going to turn into a C3 Sicilian.
I'm not getting any.
I observed checkmate a lot.
Okay, yeah, no, I'm doing that in actual fact, but I'm not actually getting anything in there. Do you know? I'm just going to just close my browser, I think, and start up again because it seems to be. I'm not sure. Maybe that's a little bit strange. So I'm just going to close the. Just going to stop the screen sharing. We're back in large. I'm going to close the browser, and then we're going to try and get in there. So just check how that's going. That's all, should all be fine, shouldn't it? So let's just start up a new Chrome tab and see how that goes. I still had it open from this afternoon, so maybe
okay, maybe it limits the number of games.
Maybe it was a bit just a little bit. Let me just try and do that. I'm not on there yet, of course. So there we are. Yeah, I'm getting them now. So that's good. Okay, so I'll just share my screen now. They've all popped up all of a sudden. The things I was looking. So here we are. So you should be able to see a window popping up at this moment right now.
Got it.
Great. So let's have a look. We've got Killer M. This is Shiraz against Ifan RJ. Let's have a look. It's a sort of a slow Slav. So we've got d4, d5, c4, e6, knight f3, c6. Ah, the triangle system. So called because, well, you put your little pawns in a triangle, c6, d5, e6. Very popular with a couple of, well, a Polish player, Mikhail Krasenkov, and a Russian player, Ruslan Sherbakov. They both wrote books about it. And the real fun lines for black, if you had them all the time, I mean, that would be the thing. You'd really want to play this all the time. Is if white goes knight c3, you play, oh, good lord, if white plays knight c3, you go d takes c4, and you are into the Notenboom line, which was developed by a relatively little-known Dutch player called Daniel Notenboom in Holland in the 1930s. Well, some people claim that it was the British player Gerald Abrahams who thought of it, but that's if we're being chauvinistic. I do think that Daniel Notenboom really did play the variation a lot and played a lot of modern-looking games. So it's a very, very sharp line and great fun. The slight downer for black is that white's got a number of ways of playing quietly, and Queen c2 is one of them. Another move is knight bd2 as well, which these are all slightly well, less fun for black. So black plays knight f6, g3. We transpose back into the Catalan here, basically. Bishop d6, castles, castles, b3, b6.
Ah, and this is a quite nice way of doing the Catalan, isn't it, for white? Because you can fianchetto that bishop.
Exactly.
Have it in on d2.
Yeah, I mean, now normally you just play bishop b2 and knight bd2 and claim a slight edge, you know, just a slight central space advantage, slight lead in development. White here played, c takes d5, c takes d5, and queen c6.
Ooh,
so now this is a known possibility always. You know, obviously
it looks like it's forking the bishop and the rook.
Indeed, well, it certainly is, but it's not actually that crucial because black plays queen c7, and after queen a6, oh good lord, sorry, after queen c7, and if we play queen takes a8, then bishop a6 just traps the queen.
So then we'd be in another queen for two rooks type scenario. We've had a few of already.
Yeah, that's right. I think this one's fine for black because black's very well developed, and yeah, I mean white's I've got a few weaknesses really, so I'd rather be black in that one. So white took on c7. I mean, I wonder, yeah, I'm just wondering how long did white spend? I think white spent a minute there, so might have been that underestimated this move, queen c7. But anyway, queen takes c7, bishop takes c7, bishop a3, rook e8, and then knight c3.
I'm just going to explain to Rich on the stream about how to get to the games on chess.com.
Oh, that's good.
What you'll see on the program where, sorry, the tab where it does the pairings. So I'll just copy that into the chat. Then if you look at those, you can then find the name of the player. So if I just copy that there. So you can, from there, you can find the name of the player, and then you do /observe, and then the name of the player, and you can find the games directly on chess.com. Sorry, Matthew, I interrupted you.
No, it's very good. I was just actually answering somebody in the chat. Somebody asked whether I'd seen the Petrosian Year by Year book, and I think that is indeed one that I've read. I've been reading loads and loads of books on Petrosian recently, so really wonderful player actually. It's just obviously world champion for 6 years, so should be pretty good. But yeah, he really is a very nice player to to play through the games. So
how would you say it's the style?
Oh, good Lord, very subtle. I mean, really, to be honest, looking through his games, I really got reminded of modern engine chess. Actually, an incredible ability to foresee what the opponent might be doing, yeah, and really capable of some incredibly deep strategical plans, beautiful regroupings. Really, a very big conception of the board, and a slightly slower conception of the board and of chess than than normal players. And I mean, he has the thing about his play is that he had a lot of fragilities. So he found it hard, for example, if he was been defending the whole game, to then switch to winning the game. That skill that Carlsen and Karpov have always had amazingly. That you've been beating them, then you mess up. And then afterwards they'll keep on going for hundreds of moves to beat you. Now, Petrosian, has some difficulties with that, and he wasn't always, I think he found it very hard to get, really truly motivated for the games. But when he did, then he was really, really strong. And I mean, somebody like when he played Botvinnik in the World Championship, afterwards Botvinnik was really completely demoralized because he said he couldn't really anticipate any of his moves. He didn't know what what Petrosian was thinking.
Yeah. So, if I'm remembering right, in Bobby Fischer's 60 Memorable Games, he described him as quiet like a tiger.
Exactly. It's I mean the thing about Petrosian is Spassky wrote very beautifully about him, but he said you're never really sure what he's thinking at all, and you're never really sure when he's going to pounce or when he's going to or when he's going to stay still. And it's a very, very unusual style. I mean, there are a lot of games. He made a lot of short draws. He was very practical from that point of view. But so there are a lot of games that of his that are not worth seeing. And maybe a few more. For compared to other world champions. But the games that he played well. And when he was really on song. That's a bit more. The early 1960s, the period when he was world champion. Then I mean, it really is astounding. His maximum level of play was incredible. So yeah, I mean, really, really worth doing. And there's some great books. There's a book by Elkan Ruby. So that's published by Ilan Rubin, former Kent Jr. And so there's a first beautiful volume, just going through. I think it's written by Tibor Karolyi, the Hungarian IM, and we're going through Petrosian's life year by year. And there's another volume coming out soon. And there's a very interesting book called Petrosian Plays the King's Indian, because Petrosian said that jokingly one time that beating the King's Indian had given him his house and his car. He was so good against it that and there's a whole thing about all the systems he played against it. And I mean, he also played it from the black side as well. It's a very interesting book, very thoroughly researched, very, very interesting. I think that's published by Russell Enterprises. And there was another book by New in Chess, Petrosian the Defender, which I liked a little less, but was also very interesting as well. I mean, so there's some really good books on Petrosian coming out. I mean, it seems to go in phases sometimes. Sometimes you get there was a whole thing for Laska's books, and now Petrosian. But I really recommend anyone who's teaching young players or whatever. Please let them appreciate some of Petrosian's games, because it really is worthwhile. And if you can play like that, nobody understands what you're doing. It really is incredible. Let's have a look here. So A5, Black's playing very fast this game. So you get the feeling that the Black knows what he's doing here. Rook FC1. Ooh, this has got quite sharp actually. Bishop A6, covering the B5 square.
Yeah, I might have been inclined to put my other rook to C1.
Yes, I think the reason You are absolutely right, but I think the reason for that was that White was looking to play e4 and didn't want the bishop on this diagonal attacking it.
Good
so
point.
as you can see, White's played e4 here.
Yep.
D takes e4, knight takes e4. Shock horror, is the knight on prise? No, because this rook is attacking the bishop on c7. And Black has played the move knight d5.
Defending that bishop on c7.
Defending that bishop on c7. So this is actually a very sharp position. Queens are off, but well, lots of things could be happening here. What are we going to do here? Wow, players are taking such fast decisions here. Really, I'd be.
Well, they only have 45 minutes for the whole game.
I know, but still, you know, I mean, but I think knight d6 is probably, you know, the right move. But I would just want to spend maybe a little bit more time thinking about that, because there were other options. Because, I mean, the point is, if you just look at this position, this bishop on c7 is a really bad piece. You know, it's on an open c file. It's only defended by the knight. And it's not really, you're not very sure where that bishop would go. You know, is it going to go to b8? Is it going to go to d8? You know, both of them have problems. So playing a move like knight d6, I mean, in principle, it's not bad to get the two bishops, but you're exchanging off that problem piece. And yeah, I don't know. I would, you know, if it's what has to be done, then it's what has to be done. And but I would prefer to spend, you know, 5 minutes or something, 10 minutes, trying to work it out, because this is quite a crucial moment. You know, it's a very natural move, knight d6, but I don't know whether it's absolutely the best move. I would have loved to try somehow double up rooks on the c file, get some other tactics going. I don't know, but would have liked to have tried it anyway. After here, I think. Let's have a look. After here, I guess Black's going to play bishop takes d6. That looks the most natural. Takes, and then maybe go rook c8, something like that.
Yeah.
And it's really not looking too tragic at all for, you know, for Black. It's looking very, you know, it's looking very normal and reasonable, really. You know, so yeah, I don't know. I don't think White's got any big advantage here. So I would have liked to have tried. I mean, you might not be able to find an advantage, but maybe you can find some sort of way of getting some extra wonderful life in the position. I don't know yet, so I may be just completely wrong there. But for example, I mean, you know, there's stuff like you could think of playing something like bishop d6, takes and knight takes, and I don't know whether, you know, say the rook goes to here, we can go knight g5, for example, and all of a sudden f7 is in real trouble there. This sort of thing, you know, and you're also threatening a move like bishop takes d5, and then rook c7, you know, that sort of thing. So I don't know. I mean, as I said, I'm not. It might be that Black can play, I don't know, rook c8 or something like that, but I don't know, bishop c7. You know, you get some chances there. I mean, I could go bishop c7, rook c7, takes. Knight d6, maybe. Still got these knight g5 ideas. Rook c1 coming in.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, it's just sometimes with these things, it's just important sometimes just to spend you know, a little bit of time thinking. Maybe not to get an advantage, but to get an exciting position that you can actually play for something. I mean, even knight d2 is not stupid. Looking for knight c4 to d6, maybe. You know, that's also quite reasonable, I think. As I said, don't know whether these are better than what White played here, but I would have expected maybe to spend a little bit more time on that. Yeah. But it's you know, it can also be it's also a practical decision. Of course, you play fast, you play natural moves fast, and you just put the pressure on. And
sure.
And if you're putting pressure on, then often, you know, I mean, often the opponent makes unexpected mistakes that, you know, you couldn't have predicted, but yeah, they happen.
Should we have a look at James Merriman's game?
Of course.
Nightmare Freddy.
Nightmare Freddy, that's a great username. Nightmare Freddy. Oh, he's playing RockTroll.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is a Ragozin. Yes, this has been transposed to a Ragozin system. So d4, d5, c4, e6, knight c3, bishop b4. Slightly unusual system, this one. Recommended by Richard Pert in his book on the Ragozin system. An excellent book, by the way. I can definitely recommend that. I think it's a quality chess book. So queen a4 check, knight c6, e3. Well, both sides seem to know their theory. Knight f6. This is one of the main lines nowadays against the Ragozin. Bishop d2. a6. Either you're going to play d takes c4 and b5, or you're going to put a bishop on d6, and you don't want a knight b5 happening. So queen c2. The queen's wasted a move. I mean, you've played queen a4, queen c2, but you have forced a knight onto c6, which stops black from playing c7 to c5. So, you know, there's sort of it's a swings and roundabouts kind of moment. Rook e8, and now a3. Is a3 the one now? I think a3 is played quite a bit. Sorry, a3, bishop f8. Now, I mean, what a lot of there's been a lot of ideas with h4 in these positions, and rook g1 and g4. You know, this sort of thing has been happening a lot. And there was a fantastic game of I think it was Rajabov against Vidit a little while ago, about a year ago. You know, with some absolutely crazy stuff. It's actually very, very dangerous. White in this game plays a little bit more calmly. Interesting. Bishop d3, black plays d takes c4, takes on c4, and then plays e5 here.
Okay. Now,
So
you could choose to go d5, but that lets that knight come away from that square that's blocking its c pawn.
yeah, there's a few interesting possibilities here. I mean, d5 in generally is not so. Oh, good lord! I've got the analysis diagram on there. Don't. Why? Oh no, analysis diagram. There we are. A command that you can just click on a button or something.
Yeah.
Actually, is that it? No, that's live analysis. Okay, not quite sure. So. Yeah, I mean, if you go d5, then probably, I guess. Oh, maybe that's not true. Well, there's a few lines. e4 is one possibility, always. You've always got to watch out for a move like knight d4.
Yeah.
Takes check, but I imagine probably knight e2 in this position is going to be good enough. But d5, yeah, I mean, you can also just play knight e7, bring the knight round to g6. You know, it's yeah, it's quite decent for.
You couldn't take on e5 now.
Well, we could go knight takes d5 there. So unless something horrific is happening on f7, which is always possible. I don't think so. Not with the.
Yeah, you need white needs to have castled really.
Yeah. Not with the rook on this line. One thing that's very tempting, of course, is knight g5 here.
Oh yes, look at that.
Because I'm a little bit confused about this one actually, because I'm not quite sure how black's defending against that one.
Yeah, look at f7.
Yeah, because if you go rook e7, I just go knight d5. You know, this typical thing that you often get in the anti-Mora. And this is just winning for white. So I am actually thinking that this was a bad blunder by black actually, and that knight g5 would have been very, very strong here.
Gosh, yeah.
Because I mean, if you go e takes d, I'll go knight f7 here. I mean, bishop f7 is also fine, but you know, knight f7 and I've got a discovered attack, and you know, that's going to be working somehow. You know, so or maybe e takes d4. I could also maybe throw in knight d5. I don't know.
And the anti-Mora idea is if the knight takes the knight on d5.
Oh yes, that's a good one to point out.
You've got queen takes h7, checkmate already on move 16 or whatever it is.
A very, very common way of a very typical mate. Well worth remembering that one. So yeah, I don't know. I think this was actually not a very good idea, because I think black would have been in real trouble there. But white took off. Knight takes, we take, and rook takes, castles, and bishop f5, which is quite a nice idea there. Attacking the queen on c2. I mean, I've been interested maybe to castle queen side, to be honest.
Oh yes,
brave. It's quite brave. But it is quite. I don't know. I mean, you can play e4, f3 afterwards.
Yeah.
I've been very interested in that, because here after bishop f5, obviously this bishop on d2 is hanging now. So white played queen d1. So this is very pleasant for black. Black's got everything that he could possibly desire from this position. I think you couldn't have a better Rakazin than this. So I mean, what is black going to do? Well, a move like queen e7 is possible, followed by rook d8. Bishop d6 is also possible. You could consider going b5. Actually, that's not silly at all. Followed by c5, just grabbing some space. What's white aiming to do? White will want to go f3 and e4 at some stage, but yeah, a little bit tricky, really. It's going to be very hard for white to really get those central pawns moving. So I think black's very, very comfortable there. Yeah, that's right, Synchronium. I think bishop e6 is the best defense, but it is very miserable indeed. So okay, that's
pawn, right? Or would you win a pawn, or you just double up the pawns?
You certainly double up the pawns. I'm not sure whether you win a pawn, but it would be, two bishops and crippled pawns would be rather nasty, I think.
Yeah.
So okay, let's have a look. Just have a quick look again and see what's happening with Shiraz there. Sorry, let's go to the proper one. Okay, so yeah, this is got quite equal, I think. Bishop d6, knight d2, that was a good idea. Rook ac8, and I would have expected a knight c4 here, to be honest. Or I might have expected. I suppose I might have expected white to play knight e5 here and then come around to c4, because it's sort of you sort of get free flexibility, really, because you might even be able to put it on c6 at some stage. So why put it round to d2 if you could put it to e5? So knight d2, rook ac8, bishop f1.
Oh, swapping off the bishops.
Swapping off the bishop.
Well, maybe white would want to keep the bishop pair.
Yeah, I mean, it's your advantage, really, isn't it? I mean, I suppose what you can say, what white is doing there is takes, rook ed8, a4. White's going to fix the pawn on b6 and then wants to put a knight onto c4.
Yeah.
So and then this pawn will be weak. But I mean, to be honest, I don't really know how you increase the pressure after that, because I mean, how are you going to get this bishop attacking this pawn? It doesn't seem possible. So black plays h6, bishop a3. Yeah, I mean, white isn't. Yeah, I'd be worried always with white about ending up a bit worse here, because you've got this isolated pawn. If black really manages to neutralize all your stuff, then you could just end up being worse, because this weakness on here is not very easy to attack. And I mean, normally with black, what would you be saying? You'd be saying, advance the kingside pawns, start grabbing some space. G5. Put the other pawn on f6, bring the king round to here, bring this knight, I don't know, maybe to f5. That would not be a bad square. And then, move on with h5, h5, g4, and gain space. And for white, it's not so easy. If you're looking at white structure, how's white gonna gain space and all that? Not very easy to say, really. So, yeah, I mean, this could be, in principle, I think, white has not made the most of the opening there, and black is very, very comfortable. Let's have a look at board one. Oh, well, I think we're looking probably at a draw here. Oh no, is that true?
Oh, perpetual.
No, I don't think. Well, I don't think so. Let's have a look. examine up.
You better take it.
You should probably take it. Then I guess we're going queen g5 check. And then we can do several things. We can go king h3 or even king f3. King f3 looks looks a little risky.
King f3 looks brave, I have to say.
Yeah, but king h3, for example. And then if queen h6, then we go king g3. You'll go queen g6, and then I'll go bishop g4.
All right, h5.
H5 or probably f5. I think f3. Yeah, and this is an interesting one. Indeed, knight f6 is possible, or taking on g4 first. I'm not sure. Knight f6. Yeah, I mean, I can go something like knight c3, and if you go fg, I can go f4. This sort of thing. So,
well, what about knight h5? I wasn't finished.
Oh, you weren't finished. Knight h5. I'll go back to g2.
Okay. All right. That feels like black can come in though. Are we giving up a piece for it though? G3?
I don't know. I don't know. I'm not quite sure how you're getting in, really. I think we can do. If we can do this, if we're going to do this, we can do better than this. I think. Just one moment. Just queen g5, king h3. Yeah. So, I mean, obviously, f5, rook f6 to h6 is an idea. But yeah, I think no, it's true. If you allow rook g1, that's just too bad. So, queen h6, king g3, queen g. Now, which is better? Would queen g6 be better, or would queen g5 be better? There, queen g5 might be better. You're a little bit more active, aren't you? So bishop g4, and then I'm going to go f5, and I think f3 is reasonable. So fg, you've got f4 simply. That's what we're always doing, and that's fine. So we go knight f6 maybe.
Yeah.
And now, I mean, this move knight e4 check or f takes g is probably quite nasty, isn't it? If you've got knight e4 check as well.
Oh yes. Yeah.
So I think that well, maybe a move like queen d3. I don't know. That's possible too, or maybe knight c3 is reasonable. Yeah, that's probably a good move. And now we sort of need to find something creative here. I mean, the problem is, of course, you don't have very many pieces in the attack, so you're not exactly really. But okay, I could go there, and now I go knight h5 check. So I've got with the queen on g5, I can come into h4. You know, so that's a little bit better. King g2, queen h4.
Yeah.
Feels a bit desperate to me, but actually, yeah, it's not so silly. So maybe knight e4 to cover g3.
Yeah.
I come queen h3 check. You go king
Mm-hmm.
g1, and here we've got to have something really. We've got to have something brave and brilliant here. And I fear that you don't actually have it. I mean, I can go knight g3, you know, and do something like this. It takes.
Yeah.
I should play queen g2.
And we've got queen e3.
And queen f2. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 3 pawns, but they're not. You haven't got great pawns. You know, they're a little bit.
Yeah.
They're a little bit ropey. And if you go queen h3, I've got rook c3 to cover. So yeah. I'm not completely happy about this one. So is there anything better that we could do there? Certainly, I think after knight e4 here. I mean, I'm threatening rook h1 now. So I mean, you do really need to get a move on. Yeah, I don't know. I think this is not quite enough, really.
What about? Wait a minute. Queen h3.
I'm going. Well, could you do something dramatic somehow? I could. I mean, if you go rook f5, I'll maybe do something like rook c3, and then I'm threatening queen g2. So it's kind of. kind of hard to, to really think how I'm increasing my attack there. Really, it's and I don't know. I mean, after knight c3, I think these moves are pretty much forced here. But I mean, we've got knight g4 takes, queen check, king there, f4. But then I guess we go e4 simply, and that's probably not going to be enough really. Not going to be enough. Am I sure about that? Doesn't look like enough, but it's something trying to. It certainly does not look like enough. But I'll just look at f3 actually, and wondering whether this was could be a little bit awkward. Maybe I just come back to e1 like this. But then I've got f2 check. Take some queen g1. More awkward than you think, or more awkward than I think. I would say I would have thought that there is just a clear way to get through this, but I mean maybe king e3 is the best line actually. Come to think of it, and then f2 I go king d3 and I escape.
There you go. The Kyle in the chat is saying before knight f6 I play h5. More pressure on the pinned bishop.
That's possible. That's possible.
H5, because then you could maybe even. This might not have time for this, but like a king f7 and rook h8 and coming down the h file.
Yeah, I think I'll go rook h1 in this position. Simply. And then when you go hg, I'm stopping h4. But if you go hg, then I just go f4, and I've and the attack there is dead.
Interesting.
Yeah, a confusing position. Let's just have a look. Who was this actually? This was it's been a draw. They've agreed to draw.
Is it? Perpetual. I've forgotten which game it was now.
It was the board one game.
Okay, Declan Shafi, Simon Smith.
I mean,
in on board one of the women's. So Alice Lampard and Imogen Dyson.
Okay, let me have a look. Let me have a look there. So, Alice L. Okay. This is very nice for black. Very nice for the black player, Alice Lampard.
2 pawns up.
Indeed, because 2 pawns up and very nice position. Those kingside pawns are just going to roll, I think. You just advance, with f4 and g5 and h5, king g7, king f6, bishop g6, f5, and there really should be no hope at all for white there. b5 is fine too. I wouldn't actually move my queenside pawns, I think, but fine too. It's actually quite good. I'm stopping c4, so that's not bad at all. Now you should advance your kingside pawns, and that should be very, that should just be very, very good for black.
So maybe f4 first of all.
King g7, I would go.
7. And
then you can do it slowly. You can do it as slowly as you like. You can go h6 and g5, bishop g6, king f6. f4, h5, g4. There's really no rush, and you should just you should take your time in these positions. You really should. It's that's just be nice and calm and cool, and just not give a hint of a chance, really. So let's have a look. What was this? Checkmate a lot.
Oh yes.
We wanted to have a look against E Forever. Checkmate lot's got a very nice chess.com rating, 22-23. That's Peter in. So as you called
we learned plays against his brother sometimes, and I think it's the brother's gone away to university, but they still play online.
So this was a c3 Sicilian, not a critical line. E takes d6. Oh, a very nice move. Bishop g4. Little gambit there offered. But white refused. Bishop e2, e6. Bishop takes d6. Knight takes d5. Pretty quiet play from white. Black's equalized quite easily. Might even be a touch better actually. The bishops are you're slightly ahead in development. Your bishop's a bit more active. The bishop e3, rook e8, h3, bishop h5, rook c1, bishop c7. Black's teeing up for the attack there.
Queen d6, and then going to play. Now the threat is bishop takes that knight, the defending knight,
and then queen h2 afterwards. But so g3 blocking, and black played rook ac8 here. Rook ac8. Wondering about that a little bit, but maybe I'm wondering what black was intending against bishop f4. Maybe just a move like maybe just queen e6, actually hitting e2 and h3. I think that's probably quite a good idea. And it certainly can never be bad to get the rook active on c8. So white plays king g2, getting things safe. It's a little bit awkward for white, this, because let me just get an analysis board up. Because if you go, let's just make a random move for black. If you go rook e1, then I've got bishop a5, actually. Maybe. Bishop a5 is definitely a possible idea. I mean, it might be that rook c6 in this position works. Oh, no, it doesn't work, actually. Takes rook d6 and bishop e1 in this position, and then knight e1, bishop takes e2. So, I mean, but in any case, bishop a5, that's something that you have to deal with. And if this queen moves away from here, if it a silly move like this, then we've got rook e3 and queen takes g3.
Ouch.
So there's pressure on white's position. That's basically what I mean to say. It's there's some pressure on there. So a little bit awkward. And there's going to be all sorts of tactics really. I mean, actually, h6 is not a stupid move because that would give you a nice easy square on f6 for your queen, which could be quite nice just to put pressure on the knight on f3. That's one move that occurs to me. Bishop b6 is another nice move. Just looking at the pawn on d4 and then playing rook e4. Probably if you're going to do that, you wouldn't have played rook c8 first. You would have done it on the 16th move. You would have maybe gone bishop b6 here, and then you'd be looking to maybe go rook e7 and rook a8. That sort of thing. Other plans that we've got. And bishop g6 is possible as well. Just looking to come into e4, and then afterwards you'll try and get an h5 and h4. What else do we have? Rook e4 straight away is possible. I'm just always wondering whether whether stuff like knight g5 is possible. It gets a bit complicated. That's why I wanted to have h6. Just to avoid stuff like that. Otherwise,
what about going b4 and b5? Because
white.
Yeah, you just go on the queen side because you've had enough of the king side.
Well, I mean,
not yet, can you? Because it's on pre.
b4 is hanging there, so you're going to need to
a3 first, and then it's all taking a bit of a while.
Yeah, and I'm not sure how wonderful it is even when you get there, really, because you chase the knight away, and then it can come to a5 into c4, or it comes to e7 and maybe goes to f5. So I'm not sure. Not sure that's a really useful thing to do. A bit hard to know what white really should do. I mean,
well, bishop f4 looks like a good start. But then not if they're ganging up on d4.
Yeah, I think I'd be maybe tempted to go to play a move like, for example, like knight g1. And if bishop g6, I'll go bishop f3 and then play knight e2 after, a regrouping like this. And then you could go bishop f4, or you could even go knight f4, for example. That might be interesting. Otherwise it's a little bit hard to sort of really think, what is white really doing in this position in terms of activity? Because I don't think anything like knight e5 is going to work. I don't think you can, force the. I don't think you can force equality, if black's careful. So I think it's going to be a little bit awkward, this one, but we'll see. So black played h6 and it's playing bishop g6 now. The bishop's coming round to e4 probably. That's quite a nice idea there. Oh, there's a little trap in there. Can you spot the trap? What's black's trap in this position?
Black's trying to trap white, yeah?
Indeed.
Right. Let me see.
I will have to say, in all fairness, it doesn't actually work, but it is there's a move that looks very strong for black in this position.
Is bishop a5?
Yeah, bishop a5 is quite a nice idea, just to and the queen's actually trapped. But in fact, you have this idea h6, rook d1, bishop g6. So, for example, if I played, I don't know, a move that doesn't, actually there aren't very many moves that don't break this. Say I played h4, bishop a5, then we could have rook takes c6 here still.
Okay.
So,
yeah.
that would ruin it. But it's in the position, bishop a5. You know, you wouldn't be surprised at all if this came up at some stage. You know. But I do think that virtually any natural white move actually just deals with the threat. So Imogen is playing very nice. Alice is playing very nicely here, just gradually expanding. Very good.
Yeah.
Oh, Nightmare Freddy is definitely going for it here. Oh, this is really going. So what? Yeah, black's played this very aggressively here. Queen d1, b5. Yeah, we mentioned this plan. c5. f4. Oh, that's not right. That's really isn't right, I don't think. You can play this sort of move if you've got a lead in development, and then you know that you're going to get an e4 after. But in this type of position, you're never going to get it. I think f3 was more or less the only move you could play to set up some sort of barrier. But f4, rook e7, bishop f3, and rook a7, and well, the pieces are really just lining up there. So white went rook f2, rook ad7, knight b1 to protect this one. It wasn't actually necessary yet, but rook takes c3 pinned, queen c1, rook ed3, and black has got
this looks very nice for black.
A wonderful position there for black.
Those tripled major pieces on the d file.
Exactly, yeah. This is an absolute joy for black. I mean, what's black going to do? Well, for example, c4 followed by bishop c5 is one way, and well, there are many more. Maybe h5, and then knight g4 or knight e4. You know, I mean, there are many ways of winning this position. So, looking very good for black there. Just have a quick look at Shiraz. How is this looking? Well, it's actually managed to get control of the C file there, and black's put his knight on h6 there. Interesting. And white's played rook takes c2. So I guess that black is going to play king g6 now. That would be the most natural, and then play knight f5 afterwards. And well, if we get that in, if we can exchange off that knight, then it's good knight against bad bishop here. So yeah, I mean, you really would think that black's really starting to get a serious advantage here. So that's going to be a tough one there. Need some good tough defense there to hold on there.
Let's check in on Julia Volovich.
You are right.
On board, she is on board 6 against Simon Wilkes.
Oh, okay. So, wait a minute. Oh no, it's not. You're not winning a piece here. A nice advantage for white. You're definitely.
These are always hard to play, though, aren't they? It looks very good.
Yeah. I mean,
yes, this is nice.
I think you should play b5. You know, rook d7. There's rook c6. But if you play b5 here, well, you're. Okay. Yeah. I mean, black should. Well, what's black going to play? King e8, and then maybe we can go f4, and then just bring the king over to the maybe e4 or maybe g4, tie it down, and then bring the king to the king side there.
Ah, that looks easy now you say it.
It's I don't know. Yeah, I don't know whether it's winning or anything, but obviously, you know, you'd much rather be white in this position.
Yeah, sure.
So I mean, this is relatively speaking a joy to play for white here. You know, so that's yeah. I mean, looking very good. And look at the speed, just 35 minutes to 16 there.
Yes.
So, yeah, you know, really.
What
really
opening was this one?
Sorry?
What opening was this one?
Well, opening,
Yes.
it looks like a Nimzo Indian, doesn't it? A Queen C2, yes, indeed. So actually, a Queen C2 Nimzo Indian, a very topical line. Yeah, all this is well-known theory, actually. H6, Bishop H4. Actually, is Rook D1 normal? Maybe not, actually, but it transposes, I think. It's not quite theory, but it transposes to this. Rook F1, C5, D takes C5, Rook D1, Queen D1, Queen C5, Queen D8, check, King H7, Bishop takes F6, then a few checks, King E2, Queen C4 check, Queen D3 takes, and GF.
Okay,
we get this sort of ending, but of course, you know, white is considerably better because, well, some double pawns, but most importantly, white's definitely first onto the C file. So, yeah, very interesting there. So, looking very good. Let's have a look at Peter Sauer. Let's see how he's getting on. See, it was he's had the upfloat.
Yes, to the other Finn brother.
Let me think.
Aha.
Oh, and he is under a bit of pressure, maybe. Let's have a look. So white's got quite a bit of attack there, but as always, unclear whether you know, do you have something, or is it just does it just look, is it just optically nice, but not really doing the business. Where
would you put your queen?
It's a tough one, really. Well, okay, I think we have to go. I think F4 is the way. Oh, I think we need an analysis diagram there, don't we? Because we're going to be playing around with quite a few pieces there. So let's put an analysis diagram in there. He's played Queen F4 actually. So okay, let's just have a look at Rook B2. Just this is always the moves that you have to look at first. So you want to move the knight away, really, so that you'll have a Queen H6. So I mean, Knight E5 is the obvious way. And actually, this is very, very strong, probably. Well, let's have a look. I mean, if Queen H5 to cover H6, then you've got Queen F6. So, you know, I mean, that's pretty strong. So the question is whether black could just play a move like Queen E7. And then if Queen H6, then we'd have F takes E5. How would that be? That actually looks quite. That looks a bit risky there. Review your game on board 14 by any chance?
I'm trying to get Oscar onto the stream.
Wow. That's actually a very good point. Can we get games that have already been
If you find Oscar, you can then look at the last game he's played.
Yeah, you would have thought so, wouldn't you? So
I think you can do that. So anyway, Oscar is idle player. On camera, yes. I'm going to say yes, exclamation mark.
Let me just give me 2 seconds. I'm just going to try and see whether we can No, his game is already finished. But if
you are on Twitter, Oscar, give me your Twitter handle and I'll message you the link to come on.
You follow idle player, and then I do.
Don't worry about webcam. Oh, yeah, okay. If you come, yes, all right. When you're ready, you don't have to use webcam if you don't want.
Follow idle player. I do idle player there. Do I get something? I'm trying to find out how to see idle players' games. That would be incredible if I knew how to do that.
And I'll work out how.
Okay, great. That sounds good. So Queen F4. Peter Sauer played Queen C7 there, and White took. White took. That seems such a shame to take. You'd really would want to carry on with the attack. I don't know if I played Queen H4. The problem is, I suppose, is that White was probably a little bit afraid of Rook C1 there. Really, that was the problem. Yeah, I guess. But now after Queen C7, Rook C7, then this Rook on G3 is a little bit awkward. It's not great for the end game, but Knight F4, we've got some threats of Knight H5 and stuff. So probably this is fine. I'm threatening Knight D5. Yeah, I mean, White's still got some initiative. Just got to be a little bit careful that you don't get this Rook on G3 staying out of the way on G3, and then Black's Rook's coming in and taking your queen side. You know, that's that would be a little bit annoying, it has to be said. Let's have a look. So Julia did indeed play B5, cementing the knight there. So Black's got to decide, am I going to play, give up a pawn in the rook ending, just play knight E5? Or am I going to, am I going to play knight C5 in this position? Oh, let's get an analysis board up again. And have a look at that, because it might be that Black's actually got a drawing line. Knight C5. Okay.
Rook and you know how to do this thing.
Oh, great.
How you do, at the bottom of your screen at chess.com, there's a search. And if you search idle player, the first thing it comes up with is his game against Ferrari fan.
So idle player. Is this? I'm doing this. Is this correct? What you're seeing on the screen, Natasha?
So at the bottom of your screen, bottom left. Bottom left.
Bottom left there. Okay, you're right. Okay.
And if you do idle player.
Type.
Yeah. And then that. And then what I got, when I did it, what I got was, yes.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. Against Ferrari fan.
Plus, you can, you get the game. Yeah. There you go.
Okay, brilliant. Okay, so we can, yeah, whenever you're ready, Oscar, then we can have a look at the game together with you. No problem at all. And yeah, don't worry.
Michael.
Thank you, Michael. Then yeah, don't worry about the webcam. If you don't want the webcam, no problem. Sound is the minimum, of course, because we have to hear you to all that. But that looks like a very convincing victory. So okay, so we've got that. That's really that's very good. Great. I'm now going to try and get back to wait a minute. I'll just take that link, because I think I could use that one very profitably. And then I'll get back to chess.com live, and we'll keep on going through the games. And when Oscar comes onto the call, then we will do that.
Oscar Idle, climate activist. Is Oscar Idle?
Fantastic.
I'm just going to message him.
Let's have a look. Have we got any more games? Because we haven't looked at all the top players, of course, have we? So let's have a look. Declan Shafi, Peter Finn, Matthew Payne. We haven't really looked at Tal's tactician yet, have we? So Tal's tactician.
Oscar Idle can't be messaged. work it out.
Tiles Tactician. So what's happening here against Harry Evans? Matthew Payne against Harry Evans. So White is a pawn up. White's managed to win a pawn somewhere around there. But Black is quite active. So a little bit crucial whether Blacks can do something with the activity or whether White's going to take one pawn, maybe two, maybe three. What can I do here? How could I actually do this? Queen e3, maybe? Queen e3 is possible. But I think I'm just going to go back to f4 here, actually. So that might actually be a little bit tricky. Let's bring up an analysis diagram. Yeah, I'm thinking Queen e3, and then I'm just thinking of an easy way to do it for White. There might be better, but just Bishop f4, Queen e7, and Queen a6 there. We've got two pawns, and yeah, two pawns, and it's not really happening for Black. So I could put the Queen to h5. I don't know whether this would. I suppose I could. That might be. Would that be a little bit better? I could maybe play Rook e2 after. I don't know. I mean, even a move like Queen f3. Well, no, Queen f3 I might take and then go Rook e2 afterwards. That might be better. Queen h5. Because I can go Bishop g5 to e3 afterwards. That might be a possibility to do this. It's looking a bit difficult for Black, to be honest, but I do think you might be able to create some counterplay with Bishop g5 to e3, and also eventually with Rook e2 as well. So not completely gone, but yeah, I think I would rather be White in this position. I think that's definitely clear. Now, let's have a look. Who else do we have? Rob Wilmot. We want to see Rob Wilmot.
Oh, yes, let's see Rob Wilmot.
Against Queens and Pawns. We saw a wild attacking game in the last round from Queens and Pawns.
That's Shearsby, isn't it?
Exactly. Now, I do have to say this looks like a very good position for White. Yeah, I mean, Black's structure is quite clamped down, and this move f4 is rather awkward because after e takes f4, we will just go Rook takes f4, and this one will be hanging. So it looks.
Wow, look at all that lined up on f6.
Exactly. So it looks like Black is well, is offering to give a pawn away with something like f takes e5 takes. Queen e5. Well, actually, that actually looks quite awkward as well because these two are hanging. So maybe f takes e5. Would you go something like knight h5? Maybe. Possible. Very risky. I think you could also consider with White playing g4 as well. But I think f takes e5 looks quite strong. I think Black maybe does need to go knight h5 then. You're hitting this one, aren't you? So how would that work for White? There's a lot of tempting ideas here. You've got to be careful. I mean, if you go a g4, then knight g3 threatens a fork on e2.
Oh, look, that's a big fork.
Yeah. On the other hand, you could just play a move like Rook f2, and then you're going to go King h2 to g3 to take the knight, which is not very easy to defend at all. So I don't know. I think this looks very strong for White. Would be my guess. And if you go d takes, I mean, you could try knight e8. That's possible too. But it's not. It really isn't the sort of thing you'd like to do. Maybe knight f5 is quite strong here as well. So, I think Rob's in good shape there with the White pieces. Let's have a look.
Do you see how Maria Emilianova's doing? She's photo chess.
Oh, okay, right. Let's have a look. Photo chess.
I'm assuming she's still going. Yeah, she should be.
Ooh, that's a bit complicated. Or no, it's not complicated. Actually, it's just absolutely unbelievable for black. So that's a huge advantage.
Oh, look at these pawns coming down the queen's side.
Yeah.
So castling in this game.
I'd say bishop takes 4 and after d takes c4, probably we can just go a3. I think that's probably. I'll just put that on an analysis board somewhere. Analysis. So we go bishop takes e4, takes. We go. There are other moves, but a3 takes, and should we go b2?
Yes, let's try and queen it.
Queen a8 mate, and what are we going to queen to?
A knight and fork that queen.
Exactly. So,
depends on you whether you set it up like that, because you can set it up just to go to a queen, can't you? If you play a lot of fast chess.
Yes, that's right. That's always the risky thing there. But yeah, no, I mean that looks very clearly winning. So it looks like Maria Emelianova is going to get back to 2 out of 3. That'll put her right in contention for a qualification place there. So very strong game there. Okay, we haven't looked at Shiraz for a while. Ooh, good lord! Look at this. So what happened here? So knight c4, knight f5. White played bishop b2, king f7. And then white took on b6. Now I wonder, was this a sacrifice, or did white miss knight fe7, which attacks the rook on c5, on c6, and just wins a piece in actual fact. Rook c5, knight takes b6, rook takes a5. It's not too bad. 2 pawns for the piece and some play, but obviously, yeah, this should be very, very good for black. But you've got to try and work out how you're going to stop the pawns there. I might have been tempted. Knight f5. I mean, I probably shouldn't start second guessing moves here, but I might have been tempted to play the knight to d5 and then just try and bring my king across. That would have been quite a natural instinct, or even maybe just bring the king across straight away. That might have been a natural instinct for me, but yeah, in general, looks we could have a little bit of a shock here with the black pieces, but obviously still quite a way to go before black converts this. These positions with 2 pawns against a knight, they can be quite tricky to convert. You know, it's not always easy. Now let's have a look at Peter Finn against Thomas Villers. Checkmate a lot against e4 forever. Black looking quite smooth here so far. Got a great outpost on e4 for the knight. Exchanging off the light squared bishops here, which means that yeah, all the dark squares around these pawns on dark squares, you know, these are all quite weak. And in terms of plans, what have you got? Well, loads of plans, but I mean, rook c6 to f6 is quite nice. Rook c6 to e6 is also very good. And just look, you know, that knight on c4 is attacking the bishop on e3. This is a very difficult position for white. White's really in a lot of trouble here. So yeah, looking good for Thomas Villers to move to 3 out of 3. Imogen against Alice. So yeah, this is looking very, very good. Maybe the one thing you could say is that I wouldn't have played the pawn to h4. I would have tried to get to leave the pawn on h5 and play g4 instead. But this is still absolutely winning, of course, because the black pieces are so strong. You know, you're going to come in with queen f5, queen to e4, and at some stage you're going to swap off the queens on e3 and play g4. So very, very strong indeed. So looks like Alice Lampard is going to go to 3 out of 3 here as well.
Yes.
Just having a look here.
What about bubblegum?
Bubblegum.
Yes.
That is board 3. Julie O against Hannah Lowry O'Reilly. Where have I seen that one? Bubblegum, Bubblegum. Is Bubblegum still playing?
Let me just check. Yes, let me check that before suggesting that game.
I've got a huge number of analysis things open, so I just need to
just check the results site.
I'll close a few of those.
Okay, results site thinks it is still going. But let me try.
Okay, I'll give it another go because I had loads of windows open, so I'm not getting a result for that.
Fine.
Ah, okay. So
so it must be finished by now.
Okay. Looking at Rob Wilmot's game there, we see that Black did play Knight H5 here. Oh, I see that Maria Emelianova has won. In actual fact, so she won that game. Yeah, Knight H5 was played. So what I was thinking was that actually G4. I need a. No good lord. An analysis board again. So I was thinking that G4, Knight G3. Let's claim Rook F2 was going to be strong. The idea being that if we go something like D takes C5, I could take King H2. That would be the idea, and then this one is trapped. Now, I don't know whether we can do some slightly cleverer things. We could go Queen E5, takes, Rook D7, Rook D7, and then the idea is that if I go Bishop takes E5, attacking this one, well, we can counterattack on the knight on E3, and it's the same story. If I go King H2, I could also go Bishop C5 as well, and yeah, I mean you're not going to be able to hold both, so that might actually hold somehow for Black. So we might have to be a little bit more careful. What we could do, of course, we could go Knight G4 here, which is quite interesting. And then, if Bishop G4, we've got HG here, and the knight is trapped. So what do we do? D takes E5 maybe, and I could take and go Queen E5 or maybe Knight E5 here. That could be quite interesting.
Okay, I sent the link to Oscar Idle, so he might be joining any time now.
Fantastic. This is not clear at all. Bishop C5 check. Bishop D4. Maybe I should take on D4 there. That might be strong too. This is not. I'd really think that this was going to be just winning, to be honest, somehow, and it's not really that clear to me. I mean, that might just be me not being that bright, but I can't really see how this is. It should be clearer than this. I was a bit surprised when I saw the name Oscar. I thought you were talking about your son. That's
I think that's why I wanted to meet him.
Ah, indeed. Yeah, this is not as easy as you feel it should be. There he is.
Hi, Oscar.
Hello.
Hi, Oscar. Okay.
Welcome to the stream.
Thank you. It's weird to be on a stream like this. Yeah. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. Are you going to show off your game?
Yeah.
I'm going to bring it up. I'm going to
Okay.
put it on. I've got the link there. That was right. That was Idle Player against Ferrari fan, wasn't
Your
it?
opponent is Robert Starley, right?
Yes.
Yes. Do you know him in real life?
I don't know him. No.
I think he has Cambridge University links.
Oh, okay. That's interesting. Yeah, I don't know if I want to go to Cambridge though or not, but yeah.
You will now.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So
Talk a little bit about yourself.
Okay. So I'm Oscar. I'm 19 years old.
Okay.
I'm actually a full-time teaching assistant in Oxford.
Very nice. Very nice.
Looking to get into local politics as well. So hoping to
Okay.
stand in the local elections next year for the Green Party. But so that's me.
Fantastic.
Will you have a realistic? How's that area? Will you have a realistic chance of winning a seat? Do you think?
So I've been told that I probably will be standing in an Holywell area, which is about 94% students.
Okay.
But I think that needs to be confirmed in January, actually. So I have to be voted in within the Green Party there. But I've been told I've got a very strong chance of winning that seat. So and then standing in May, it's it just depends how the campaign goes. I think I've got some chance, but yeah.
Excellent. So we'll look out for you. So would you then be in Parliament?
So it would be a local council.
Council.
So that would be for the Oxford City Council.
Okay.
Brilliant.
Good. Well, good luck with that, and we better see your game.
So I'm a D4 player. I've been playing the Catalan for quite some time. So yeah, this is all standard. So yeah, bishop.
You've had this position many times before, I guess.
Yeah. And C6. Yep. Castles. What do you play here? Queen C2, B6.
Yeah, this is all.
Yeah, knight B2, bishop B7, and here I think E4 is the best move.
Yeah, I mean it's good to get it in before black gets the chance to play C5. I mean B3 is possible as well, and bishop.
Yeah.
But it's a little bit slower, so E4 is the most aggressive here.
And he took.
Yeah, I've seen some players just playing knight BD7 actually.
And sometimes you can even so knight BD7 is one move. Sometimes you can take on C4 as well. But yeah, I know this line quite well actually when they take on E4.
Yeah, it's quite pleasant for white, I think.
Yeah, I think it's quite standard. It's quite easy to stop in a lot of positions. You can stop black from playing C5. Yeah. And if you can stop black from playing C5 by pushing C5 yourself, you've got a really strong advantage there. You can bring your knight to D6.
Yeah.
Okay, so what do you play? Knight BD7, which I wasn't sure, but I hadn't seen. Most of the time I've seen them take on E4 first and then play knight BD7 or something. Here, it doesn't look right to me. I don't know. What do you think? I thought I can just take immediately on F6 or no? Not yet. Actually.
Yeah. I mean, you can take on F6 and.
I played Rook D1 though.
I was calling out
Rook D1
as well.
Yeah, I mean, knight F6 is definitely possible because I mean he's not going to get in C5, but Rook D1's definitely a good move there. I mean that must be
And then I think here doesn't he have to take or I don't know.
Well, he is a bit slow somehow. So I don't think is he actually ever going to get in C5 here?
I don't know. The line here I know is knight E4, Queen E4, and then you have to play Queen C8.
Yeah, that looks like the best one.
And Queen C7 is wrong because of Bishop F4, and then Bishop D6. You can swap off bishops and then play C5.
Yeah, that's very strong indeed. Queen C8, yeah. I mean, I guess you can try something like knight E5. That's always possible. Still going to be a little bit tough for black to defend that bishop and play C5. C5 would also be possible here, just as a pawn sacrifice. What else have you got? Bishop G5 doesn't look that stupid.
I think knight G5 here is quite interesting.
So I guess we'll go knight F6.
And then Queen C2.
Queen C2, and you after C5, you just want to go D5 or something like that. Yeah, this looks quite.
And then knight, or maybe you play Bishop F4 first. I don't know. Yeah, the idea is to bring the knight into E4, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean D5 is quite interesting. Bishop B7, even D5.
Yeah.
It's I mean, White's definitely got an initiative there. I think that's definitely true.
Yeah.
But he went Rook C8. And
which I don't think is right.
No, it's not. Yeah,
it's too slow. So I played knight F6.
Yeah, this is a good move. He took with the bishop, And then this typical move c5.
Yeah, immediately.
In that pawn, so it's stuck there on c6, and the bishop's stuck behind.
Yeah, and that's just the terror bishop. That bishop's never going to be in the game.
Yeah, and this knight is also not great either now because obviously it's not even 6d5. So
anyway.
These are quite tough positions really for black here. So you win queen e7. Oops, queen e7.
So he's threatening to take on c5 now.
So bishop e3, just covering that pawn.
Yeah.
Rook to d8 and rook to c1. Yeah, this is just very, very, very nice for white. And you've got, I suppose, lots of ways of just improving your position. Maybe h4, maybe b4, maybe all this sort of stuff. Bishop f4 obviously can come in as well.
Yeah.
So very nice. So yeah, he played b5, which you should really.
So so the line here I think is he can't play e5 at the moment because I have. Well, if I just take on e5. And then if he takes with knight, I can take on b6, or take the knight and then take on b6.
Yeah.
So that's the idea. And if he takes with bishop, I can take on e5 and.
You're looking.
You're
looking very, very good here. I mean, if queen e5, you've probably even got something like bishop h3 as well.
Yeah, this is quite nice.
Which would be horrific. Yeah. No, so he's just got to wait, really, hasn't he? I mean, b5 would probably make sense to wait with b5 until you're, I mean, just not to give anything away, too much. But
I think so. After b5, if I don't do anything now, so if he plays b5, it can't black just play. If I just play a random move, can't black just play e5 and it's sort of threatening to equalize a little bit?
Yeah.
The idea behind it, or
I don't know. I'm not quite sure. I don't know how much that's equal because you just end up. If you end up, you just end up with with this bishop pointing at this pawn and this one's inactive forever. But I mean, a move like bishop f4, for example, is very natural. Why would you give black e5 exactly? But I'm not even convinced that this is so strong that you'd even be amazingly worried about it. But if you can stop it, why not? You played this move bishop h3, didn't you? That was
the idea is basically stopping e5 completely. Because it's just pinning the knight after e5.
Yeah, very nice, very nice.
And if you swap everything off, the queen takes on e5 at the end, the knight's hanging. So
that's a very nice move. And I mean this bishop's diagonal's blocked, so why not put the bishop on a square like this? Exactly. So he went rook e8, bishop f4.
Yeah. So now I'm threatening to bring my bishop into d6.
Yeah, this is pretty strong, isn't it? Bishop d6, and then you can play knight e5 afterwards. So I mean, really, you're getting it all, really. So you win queen f8.
So this when you have to play queen f8, I just think, okay, that made me very happy to see queen f8. I just knew I was.
Oh, you're stuck there.
Oh, sorry.
The queen looks a bit stuck.
Yeah, it's. So I decided that I didn't want to play bishop d6 straight away.
Yeah. Because
of bishop e7, and then I can't really do much to not swap off those bishops. And I think if I found another way to keep control of the d6 square with this knight d2 move. You can't take on d4 because of bishop d6.
Exactly.
And then I'm just bringing my knight to e4, and then either my knight or bishop to d6, and I have both pieces controlling that square.
Yeah, that's looking very good here. You gave him a little kick with bishop c7, rook c8, bishop d6. That's good because good to have the rooks on c8 and e8 because when the knight comes into e4, there it's really
very nice forking both rooks and the bishop.
Exactly. Bishop e7, knight e4, and rook d8.
So yeah, it took a while to actually find this move, but because I couldn't see anything winning straight away. I feel like I should, there should be something here. I can't, like taking on e7 and then knight d6 doesn't quite win anything because of rook d8. I'm still completely winning, but I felt like I had something more. So I played this queen b3 move.
Yeah, this is very nice.
It's just a nasty threat immediately if bishop takes e6.
Yeah, that's very nice indeed. And there's a lot of stuff happening, isn't there? Because if knight f6, I guess we can just we can actually just take that, can't we? And,
or even bishop e6.
Yeah, bishop e6.
Knight f6, bishop e6, and then you're winning the piece back.
Yeah, no, that is indeed all working. Yeah, very very unpleasant move, queen b3. That's very. And
I don't think there's a way to stop. I don't think there's any. Oh, king h8 was the one move I was thinking about.
Yeah, I think that's possible just to.
But I think I might even be able to take anyway. After king, I didn't calculate this yet.
King h8. Well, bishop e6 does actually look quite strong still. It's actually quite tricky for black.
Yeah, because so bishop e6, f e6, queen e6, threatening to take the bishop, and the bishop's pinned.
Yeah, no.
So
it's actually quite tricky because
if bishop d6, it transposes the same position we had in the game.
Here and here. Yeah, I think you're right. Actually, I think this is I think extremely unpleasant. What a strange position, really. But no, this looks very good. And of course, I mean the weakness of these light squares doesn't matter when this bishop here is so bad. So yeah, that looks very strong. That does look very strong. Unless there's a miraculous saving idea, which I don't think there is. Then
I couldn't find anything to stop. that move.
Yeah, that's
with queen b3.
Yeah, queen b3. Excellent. So we actually transpose into the game here, don't we? Because you took rook b8 and then bishop takes e6 anyway.
Yeah.
So takes.
And this is just game over. I've got a nice little windmill.
Indeed. Always nice. Let's show that one. Knight takes d8. King h8. Knight f7. King. Oh, good lord. Knight d7 is a 4 as well.
At the end of it.
Oh, dear me.
Beautiful.
That is unusually
very
cruel.
Nice. Very nice.
Very, very nice.
Well done, Oscar.
Yeah, it's a very nice game. A very nice game. Queen b3 was very, very nice. That's and knight d2 was a very good move as well. Just increasing the pressure and actually I like this move, bishop c7 as well. That's very nice attention to detail, just to kick the rook away from d8 and get them onto these two squares where they're going to be in line for a knight fork. Very, very nice. Yeah, and queen b3, very good.
Might have rather had
good luck.
a loss of
your games.
Oh yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
I feel like I haven't. Unfortunately, I've played too well to learn anything from that game.
Well, it's good. You never know. Maybe against against someone else, you'll get something similar and just remember a few of the themes.
Yeah.
Always
definitely.
Always how it goes. It's. But no, excellent game, Oscar. Really well played.
Oh, thank you.
So good luck with that, and good luck with being elected as well.
Yeah, thank you very much. And thanks for having me on. Matthew, I think I met you about 8 years ago when I was
my goodness.
or something at the London Chess Classic. But I mean, you wouldn't remember. I've grown quite a lot since then. But I just remember speaking to you and thinking you're absolutely lovely. And then I spoke to Vishy Anand as well, and I just thought, I don't know. There was just something about talking to other grandmasters, like other top players, that wasn't nearly as nice as talking to you, Matthew. So.
Oh wow! Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Anyway, but thank you for having me on.
Yeah, brilliant. Good luck for the rest of your games, and try and play some other great games, and then come back on and show us.
Yeah, I would love to. All right. Bye-bye.
Brilliant. Thanks very much.
We have our next guest lined up as well.
Oh, good Lord.
Maria.
Oh, Maria, great. Okay. Let me have a look. Oh, can I just let me just get her game up? She was photo chess.
Photo chess.
Great. Photo chess.
Well done, HackAttack, on your win.
Games, there we are. Current games, 13. Oh, good Lord. About a pawn. It was that one, wasn't it? There we are. Okay,
Maria, I think let me just tell her on this chat as well.
I've got the game there. That's great. Okay. Well done, HackAttack. That's the way to do it. It's okay. I've got the link there, so that's good. I'll just do that, and then we can have a look at the rest. And then when Maria comes on, we will.
We'll be ready for her.
It's wonderful. Let's have a look. Yeah, this is a very nice game actually. Casting queenside, that's quite bold somehow in these sort of close Sicilians, and yeah, they certainly got punished quite severely. Unfortunately, I think you've really got to try and castle kingside. I think in these type of systems. Let's just I'll just go back to live for now. See what's happening there. We've got, let me think, Peter Sowry. Quite an interesting ending going on there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, that really should be winning. I would have thought. Although, yes, no, it should be winning. There shouldn't be any doubt there. But always, yeah, always a little bit tricky to pull these off. I'm wondering, actually. I mean, are you going to be able to? Are you really going to be able to do this? It's quite. It's more tricky than you realise, because I go. Let me just bring up an analysis board, just to have a little look at it. So d5. So, for example, I mean, black plays h5 here, and he wanted to play h4. So I'll go h4 here, and say you just wait, and I'll go d6, and maybe I'll go bishop h3 here, and I'll go king d5, bishop e6, and king c5. And then I'm going to play my pawn a4 and b5 and b6.
So maybe bishop to b3 to stop the pawn going forwards.
That's possible, isn't it? Yeah, I mean, I guess this is always going to be enough. It's always, yeah, it always feels more tricky, than it should do. But I guess this is going to be just going to be enough. So yeah, I mean, that should indeed be working. So it looks like Peter Sowry is probably going to be getting back to 2.5 and right in the mix there.
Let's see what results we've got. Oh, we've got a lot of results.
Oh, right.
So Alice Lampard won, we saw. Raylin also won.
Oh, okay. So she's on 3 out of 3 as well.
Yeah. And Julie O won against Hannah Lowry O'Reilly.
Okay. So she's got 1.5, hasn't she?
Yeah, 1.5. So she's on to 2.5. And then we've got Maria. And then Lara also won. So we've got a number of people on 2. And then
fantastic.
In the open, yeah, we've got a lot of results here as well. We saw Declan draw with Simon Smith. Tom Villiers won that match against Checkmate a lot.
Okay, yeah, that was looking very good.
Tactician won, and Tristan Cox we saw winning. Shreyas lost actually in the end against.
Oh right, okay.
Jones, and Julia Volovic in that endgame with the rook and knight had a draw. with Simon Wilkes.
Okay, yeah, that was pressing, but yeah, that was always going to be a difficult one to win, I think.
Yeah.
Twills, have we seen? We haven't seen Twills yet today.
Twills yet, so we should have a look at Twills.
Oh, let's have a look. Oh, pawn up. Little bit under pressure, but a pawn up, and of course threatening rook d1 check, and then mate on h1. So white's got to do something here. Rook e8 check is obvious. Rook d8 is going to be the only move. And do we have something clever? We don't have a big range of checks, unfortunately. Well, rook d8. Okay. Oh, I think this is just going to be a draw.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to swap queens because of the pawn.
It's going to be a draw, this one. You can just perpetual all the way, looks like. Yeah, this is going to be a draw, I think. I think black plays maybe king c7. And then we'll go queen e7 check and just keep on checking the king there.
Yeah.
So, well, no, actually, wait a minute. You've got to be a little bit careful about that. Maybe I'll probably go queen f7 check. I think that's the point. Wait a minute, can we get an analysis diagram up? Analysis diagram there. So we've gone king d7. I think we go queen f7 here. Well, actually, what I was thinking of was we go king c7, because if you go something like queen e7, then I think black can go king b8 in this position, and you're just you're actually going to manage to unravel a little bit. But after king c7, you go queen f7 check. If black goes back to b8, then you give a check on here, and queen c8 allows queen h7, which is obviously fine for white. And if black goes king c6, then you come here check, and here you give a check here. Oops. And that's all, I mean, that's just a draw. Black can also arrange to self-mate himself if he particularly wants, but he won't actually do that. So this should be, you'd expect this to be a just a draw in actual fact. Oh, HackAttack, Tom Villas, of course you are. We're getting confused there.
Well, yeah, because of course people's name on the stream chat is not the same as their.
Yes, no, that's right. Yeah, that's.
Or their name.
Yeah, we're getting always getting a bit confused.
Right, Tom.
That was a very nice game, Tom. By the way, that was very smooth, very smooth indeed. So.
Maria will be joining us in a second. She's at the hotel, so she's setting up.
Fantastic. Let's have a look. Who else have we not looked at yet? Joseph Conlon, Piscatorox.
Look at Joseph Conlon.
He was on 1.5. I'm not sure whether did he have a buy. I think he maybe did. Piscatorox, he is still playing.
I couldn't find it on mine, so I don't know if you'd have any more luck. But Tim Kett, because I think he got a default in round 1 and then a buy, so this would be his first game. He's
good Lord.
I think was the top rated Welsh player.
I'm not getting anything with Tim Kett, no. So yeah, no, I don't know. Don't quite know what's happening there. Let's have a look. This is Fowler Dog against Piscatorox. So Piscatorox, that's Joseph Conlon. Who is better and why? Well, in principle, white's got the 2 bishops, but this last move's been a little bit annoying, attacking c4 and d2 there. So let's have a look. I mean, we could conceivably just play a move like bishop c3, pardon me, and then well, let me bring up an analysis board again. We could go move like bishop c3. I was trying to find something cleverer, but I don't really see it. Queen c4, takes, and then we can go bishop g7, for example, and start looking at these. But I don't know, how wonderful is this? it's not so easy. I mean, you take the pawn on h6, but the bishop's still covering this, so it's not like you're getting a passed pawn or anything. I would love to have something a little bit better for white, but I just think this move, queen d4, is actually quite annoying. I mean, you sort of wonder a little bit, should I can swap off queens. Could I maybe not swap off queens and just try and play for some activity, or queen c2, and then just look to come into g6 somehow? I don't know. I mean, I love the white bishops, you know, and I sort of and I like the white queen as well. So I was sort of I mean, I think knight d6, yeah, c4 was probably white played a few less good moves there. You know, I mean, I think something here like queen d5, for example, would have been wonderful. Very nice position for white. Then bishop d2, and then you're gradually going to move your queenside pawns forward. That looks like a really lovely position. So I think, you know, white's just made a few mistakes there, but still, you know, I mean, it shouldn't be so bad for white there. But you have missed a trick here with this weak pawn on c4. Okay, who else have we not seen yet?
What's in the Cypriot this round? I don't think we have.
No, we haven't. Had quite a thrilling game, didn't he? Last.
He defended well to get a draw against. So this is Alekos Ethelontis, and last round he was playing Jude Shearsby, and they got a draw in the end.
So let me have a look. I'm just trying to find him in the list.
The Cypriot.
I can't see him in the list.
Let me see if he's still going.
Ferrari fan. How about Sean the Prawn?
Oh, yes.
Such a nice name.
Yes, that is a good name.
We have Sean the Prawn? No, he seems to have been finished. Venus Fly Trapped.
That's a good name too.
I'm afraid not. Sorry, Venus Fly Trapped. We're too late to give you your moment of glory. Let's have a look. What else do we have? Dingbat 27. Well, there seem to be a lot of games finished. Well, that's not surprising. It's 8:45, so that is actually quite tricky. Oh, the Cypriot. Sorry, I completely.
Oh, no, it hasn't come up for me actually.
Oh, okay, right. So you must be finished as well. There's actually not that many games left, are they? There's. Let me think against. This is looking a little bit odd.
Which one's that?
This is Let Me Think against Peter Sauer.
Okay, Chris Finn, Peter Sauer.
This can't be right. Oh, good Lord, what happened here? Oh, so d5, h4, king e7, and white just went a4, bishop d1, a5, and actually was threatening b5 and a6 when the a pawn had to queen.
Yes. So you'd have to defend with the bishop.
Yeah, and then the pawn went.
Yes.
But this is actually quite dangerous now, because we can go king f4, e4, e5. This is really dangerous. I'm actually wondering whether who is better and why. No, it's probably fine for black. Maybe it would even still be winning, maybe. But my goodness, it's a complicated ending, this. It's really very tricky. Peter Sauer is having people are putting up some fantastic defense against him, really are. Oh, this one's going to get quite exciting as well, actually, because we've got not much time left. We've got a queen g3 check.
Oh gosh, look at this. Well, it's at least a draw.
it's at least a draw. You can go knight takes c5 now, which covers b7 and also attacks the queen, but that's a bit risky because knight c5, we would probably go queen d5. So I wouldn't be amazed if black took a draw by repetition here, actually. Unless could there be something clever here? I mean, could we go g4 after king h2? I mean, king h2 is going to be the move. Is g4 possible? Bishop takes c4. Well, that would be g3. So what would you take on g4 with? You wouldn't go bishop. You'd take with a pawn, wouldn't you? I mean, g4 is the move. That's the move I really want to play. H takes g4, and then how would I do that? God, it feels like there could be, because you get a square on h4. Ooh, and I'll just show you quickly what I was thinking about. I think they are going to repeat this position. I'm just wondering whether I could have played. Wait a minute, let me just close that one. They've agreed a draw there. I was just wondering whether there was a possibility of going g4 here. So bishop takes c4, we go g3 check and queen f1. I mean, if you go bishop takes g4, then I'm assuming something like bishop h4 just wins, you know, because or at any rate, I mean, you're fighting for the win, right? I mean, that's what you're doing. So I'm sort of assuming that h takes g4 is the move you want to keep a track, just to keep, you know, this diagonal active here. And now I'm sort of wondering, I can go bishop h4 to g3, but that's not winning. But I could maybe go knight takes c5. Obviously, I'm covering this. I mean, if you go queen d5, which I was a bit worried about. Maybe you go queen g8 simply then, probably. Yeah, maybe. I mean, you could throw in g4. It would always worth doing, you know, a move like that. Just but I don't suppose that we can actually do anything amazing with it. I'd love to. Oh, it would be so nice if I could do something great here. But I think I probably just don't have. I probably just don't have the possibility.
The crowd's suggesting bishop h4 here.
Yeah, it's just bishop takes e4 simply, and bishop g3. We go king and king here. We're threatening mate on b7, so I'm not quite sure. And queen g3 check, you just go king h1, and there's no check here. So I don't. I'm not quite sure. I'm not quite sure. Oh dear, it's frustrating. Frustrating. You feel that there should be
something here.
I feel there might be something nice somewhere, but I can't see it. I can't see it, and maybe there's just nothing. Maybe I'm just. I mean, you could play, you know, queen h4 check, king there, and knight here.
Oh, okay, yeah. Because,
you know, if you go queen g8, you've got queen g5. I mean, you're sort of. But you know, I think in general, you know, something like queen d5, white must be fine here. You know, there's no mate or anything. So I guess that this is just very good for there. Let's have a look. Twill against Imkar. I think they finished actually, haven't they? They drew indeed. Let me think against Peter Sauer. Look at this.
Oh yes, how's that one going?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's only 3 pawns for the piece, so this is very
exciting. See, now I might prefer to play white.
Yeah, it's a tough one though for moving the pawns forward here, because if e6, then let me bring up a analysis diagram. We can play around a little bit. Oops, analysis diagram, Matthew. We know how to do that. So, how are we going to do this? I mean, if I go e6 and you go king f6, which is a little bit annoying, obviously, because you're blocking this. But then I could go king to d4. Now, obviously, if king e7, I go king e5. That's definitely something you don't want to allow for black. So what if I just waited like this?
And we maybe bring the king round to c5.
Yeah, if I do that, then I'll go king e7 here. And you're in danger here of getting weighted out. I mean, that's the big, that's the uncertain thing. And then if you go king d4, I'll go king d6.
King
d4. I might have something like bishop c4.
Oh, yeah.
Which I think is probably, yeah, I mean, that's going to work for you. So you just got to be a little bit careful. I mean, you could king d4, bishop b5. I mean, you can just wait like this. Because I mean, it's going to be very hard for black to tempo you. I mean, I don't know whether
either side tries too hard to win, then they're going to risk losing.
Absolutely. I mean, you could even play king f5 here, for example. And if I go king c5, we go king e5, d6, bishop b5. We just keep on waiting there.
Yeah.
Eventually, we're going to pick up the pawn. So you've got to be very careful about this. I mean, you can try with white. You can play a move like king f4, and then you're just waiting there. How does that work? Bishop b5, because if you go bishop c2, then I go b5. So you can't really easily cut me off from using the e4 square.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure. Well, just imagine that it's white to move here. Let me just. I'll just play some. Well, I'll play a few reasonable moves. Maybe bishop there, here, bishop there, here. I could get this move bishop d3, but then I go king e3. I think this is probably drawn if we go to f4. I can't really think how either side will do it, but I don't actually think that white's got any more than this. I could be horrifically wrong, of course. But I don't.
Neither of them have offered a draw, have they?
No. Well, this is a position where you should just keep on going, really, because it's so unclear. I mean, I'm wondering a little bit whether it looks all wrong, actually. But could I play? Could I play somewhere a move like d6, and then? So I go bishop c6, king d4, maybe king f5,
yeah.
King c5, bishop c5. Oh, I could go king d5 here even. Oh, this is all so risky. It's really, I mean, you could easily get it wrong with white, but there's also a chance of high rewards as well. D6 feels a bit funny, E6 feels much more natural, not to give a hole on the light squares, but it does allow the white king to move in like that. And D6, I was thinking of bishop C6 check there. So if I go king F7 maybe, but then I go king C5. And I go maybe bishop A4. King d5, bishop b3, king c6. Very risky, this. Very risky. Really very difficult. And the one thing about it is that this is the right coloured bishop for this rook's pawn. So, if it doesn't work out, then, Oh, white has won. Oh, he resigned.
Really?
He resigned after king e4.
Oh. Does he need to?
Yeah, no, I wonder.
I lost on time.
Peter, he lost on time.
Oh, well, congratulations, Peter.
No, Peter lost. Oh, yeah, Peter
lost.
Yeah, Peter Fink. Yeah.
I'm now getting confused.
Yeah. I think this is drawn. I do think this is drawn, but I'm not.
I was thinking it's to Peter Finn.
Yeah, I'm not. I'm not
Peter Finn at all.
It's carrying family now. Okay.
My bearings back.
It's yeah. I mean, I'm not. I think this is a draw, but I'm not.
It's Chris Finn.
So it's yeah.
He's carrying the family now.
Ah.
Our hopes are in Chris Finn. Let me think.
Yeah, no, brilliant. That's I mean, excellent game. I mean, really a very fighting game, and yeah, the ending was really quite treacherous. You wouldn't think that this was so difficult for Black.
A bit of your game as well. Your game against Tom. That was that the was that the C3 Sicilian one?
That was the C3 Sicilian. That's right. Yeah. So and that was Tom Villiers, HackAttack, who won that one. So what are the scores looking like then, Natasha? Because I think we've actually
yeah, I think we're pretty much all finished. Let's refresh here. Yeah, so we have people on 3 out of 3. We have Chris Finn, Steve Key. We haven't seen much of Steve Key, Dingback 27. We have Ifan Rathbone-Jones, Tristan Cox, Matthew Payne, Tom Villiers, and that's it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 players.
There is Maria.
Maria, she said she was. Oh, she's joining now.
She's joining now. So I'm going to put her on the stream now.
Yes.
Guys.
Hi, Maria. How are you doing?
I am overwhelmed because I started streaming after like more than a week break, and now my chat is going crazy and a lot of support. Thank you, guys. So I might have to interrupt you guys sometimes.
Sure. Well, you had a very nice game today in the championships.
Thank you. Well, as opposed to yesterday.
Yesterday, so what happened? There was a Queen F4, I think, happened.
Was it a misclick or?
No, I think it's called brain fart.
Oh.
Okay, let me just put you guys on my stream as well. I forgot how to do that. I forgot how to do anything.
You've had a week. Have you been on holiday somewhere, Maria, or just?
No. I was actually covering the Russian superfinals.
Oh, okay.
I cannot see your camera's full size, I think, but I will try to.
Oh, we can do that. We can go a little bit bigger.
But then you cannot see the games.
That is true.
I assumed you wanted to look at the game.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Okay. I will cut it off this way. I think the resolution is enough. Yeah, so I was covering the Russian superfinals for chess.com. So we've been doing daily recaps with now former Russian champion Evgeny Tomashevsky. He did not play this year, so he lost his title officially 2 days ago. And I was also doing photos, and if you might have heard that we had a case of positive test of one of the players, and he had to withdraw.
Indeed, yes, yeah.
So now we can officially welcome the Game Changer channel. So Natasha and Matthew. You're doing a great job with commentating.
Thank you. We're enjoying it. It's nice, actually. It's a good opportunity to see to talk about the people that we'd normally meet in over the board in England. You know, and all these people that you normally so easy to keep in touch. And well, we're doing it through this commentary, actually. So it's it's very nice, actually.
I'm actually getting to know all the people in the qualifying tournaments. So then when it gets to the finals, we'll be able to know top players and the qualifying players, and it should all be very exciting.
Yeah, and of course the time control makes it easier to follow all the games quite comfortably, right?
Yeah, I mean, we're definitely looking forward to covering the Bullet tournament. That's going to be.
Yeah, I've been wanting to join the Bullet as well, but I thought that it's already overwhelming enough for me to play the 3 events in 2 weeks. It's I forgot how to play chess, honestly. I mean, I do streams pretty often, and I talk about my games on stream, but this is completely different. You have this hands getting cold and shaking, and this nervousness before the game, and not being able to fall asleep after the game. Just like, as I said in the chat, 16 years ago was my last official tournament. And the competition, like you might get tricked by the ratings. Of course, the ratings of some of the opponents are extremely low, but I know, and I also experienced it yesterday, that the ECF players are quite underrated generally.
Yeah.
Plus, you have young players, and
You've got a lot of young players in that competition. Yeah.
I played much better when I was their age. You just get this sudden, I don't know, flashes of insane inspiration, and you just go forward and you win against international masters. So no, it doesn't happen so easily.
Maria, what sort of speed chess do you like? If you could choose the time limit, what's your favorite?
Rapid. I think
yeah.
my favorite is 20 or 25 plus 10.
Okay.
Yeah.
My only game against Grandmaster, which should have finished with my win, was actually with this time control in 2012 against Elmar Magiramov.
Okay.
So I outplayed him, but then I, as usually, chickened out and accepted a draw. But he basically had no material to win against me, so I was not thinking clearly. I was just so crazy scared.
No.
Are you preparing for these games? Do you look up the openings in advance, or are you just turning up and playing?
Not even for the preparation for specific game, I suppose, because players always choose something else, and there is not enough games in the database anyway. But I'm just trying to get myself into any shape.
Making sure you know what you play.
Yeah, just to have some kind of confidence when I come to the game. Oh, thank you guys so much for all the beats and resubs. Yeah, sorry, it's just the chat is going crazy.
This one.
Yeah, so how are you enjoying it? The games? Did you have some particularly game?
It's good actually. I mean, we've seen some interesting games, and it's getting tougher and tougher now. Just because obviously the stronger players are playing against each other as well. And I mean, to be honest, we've been surprised at how well the young players are playing. Because
we've had some amazing games by like kids of 10, 12 years old.
Yeah, I mean, you see 2007 or 2012 next to their username, and that is actually when they were born. It doesn't seem,
yeah, it's kind of scary.
It is
I was already like finishing master's degree at that year, and they were just born. And now we're playing the same tournament. I retired from chess in 2005, and I think I got my FIDE Master, Women FIDE Master, maybe a couple of years later, just because I suddenly realized that I can.
Yes.
I never thought about it. And once in one tournament, I even had some crazy performance rating, like 2380. But I think they spelled my name wrong, and it didn't go into my FIDE profile.
Points. Yeah.
And at that time, if you get this performance rating straight out of just registering your FIDE account, you immediately get this rating.
Exactly. Yeah.
And I mean, it would be, of course, completely ridiculous to have this rating for me now with my play, but would be nice as well.
It would be nice,
But I
yeah.
didn't think about all of that. We did not have any information. There was nothing online, of course. Like there was almost no online. So I had no idea. And yeah, WFM, I just, oh, I can have a WFM. Why not?
Yeah. No, it's yeah. I mean, it's just amazing how much chess has changed. I mean, just you know, I mean, we only had lockdown for, you know, since March somehow. I mean, it feels like years, but I mean, you know, and then you see how, you know, just how easily people have moved to doing everything online. It is really quite amazing. But I mean, it is good. It is good from time to time to see a proper long event with long games and stuff like that, because that is really so nice just to be able to you know, to spend some time and look at the games as well. You know, I mean, all these speed chess tournaments. I mean, they're fantastic, right? I mean, all these you know, Magnus against Hikaru things. You know, they're absolutely amazing. But you do notice that the drama grips you, you know, and you watch it, and you know, you're completely hyped, you know, for days on end afterwards. But you don't actually remember that many of the games in actual fact, you know. And whereas when you've seen a great over the board long play tournament, you know, some of the games really stay in your head, and I think that's the big difference really. And the thing that I miss, and certainly, I sort of noticed that with all the there's so many games being played, I've got no idea what proper opening theory is anymore, because everyone's playing everything, and you know, what do they think about these openings now? They play everything. It all seems to work. Doesn't matter what it is, you know. It's just rapid. They're swindling and all that. So yeah, I mean, everything's the chess world's got really changed so much, and what chess is has really changed a lot as well. But you're seeing that the young players are really adjusting very well to it, you know. And,
yeah.
So it's very, whenever you see somebody slightly older doing well, you're very happy somehow, you know, because.
Yeah, I feel like I will be also kind of like that, feeling like that if I do well. Well, of course, first of all, it's a really big honor for me to be able to play in the British Championships. It's my not only first event in like 16 years, but it's also my first ever event playing for ECF.
Oh, brilliant. Oh, welcome.
Yeah, I switched my federation in January. And kind of like I was lucky to time it well with lockdown, because obviously there is 1 year a sort of a ban by FIDE for representing the country in international events, but I double checked that British Championships is fine. So it's really nice to be able to play, and even if I don't achieve anything in the tournament now, it's just a good opportunity to get back to this feeling and try to get some confidence. And of course, the first round knocked me over quite badly.
Well, it's always going to take a round to get into it.
What am I doing here? But yeah, it wasn't a mouse sleep.
Okay.
I don't think we need to look at that game.
No, let's look at your game today, because that's your game this evening. Because this was very nice with your queenside pawns coming down.
Yeah, just one moment. The game yesterday, I actually saw that I could take on c4. I don't know if you guys saw it. Knight c4 when she took on d7. I saw that I can win a pawn. I knew that it works. But I just dismissed it because for some reason I already decided to take on d7. That was already first sign of I should calm down and first of all not play as fast as she was playing, which always it kind of always intimidated me since the early years, because the main field I was playing against was older boys. And they were intentionally playing fast moves and then like kind of staring you down. And the longer you think, the more like noises they will make, and like subtly cough or like stand up and go somewhere and come back, stand up and go, and like they will be just making all of these intimidating moves. And it was of course getting on the nerves of a girl. And of course now there are a lot of discussions about how women are treated in chess, and that's not a imaginary thing, of course. But online, you don't really have this problem.
You don't have it. It's true. Yeah.
Yes, but when your opponent plays fast, you also think I should play fast. And of course, I also did not play with such long time control in so long. And I'm used that I'm streaming and I always have to play fast, discuss my game, my moves on stream. And it normally, I think, helps for me to not to blunder anything when I go through everything for my chat and like sometimes breaking it down for the chat, because the majority of my chat is slightly weaker than the average title player. So I think I myself control my position better when I discuss it with the chat. So I was a little bit upset when I learned that I cannot stream the tournament.
Okay.
But pretending that I'm streaming, which I was suggested by my friends, kind of feels really strange. I know
Is that what you've been doing?
I was kind of no. I think I just stopped myself from making any move until I'm completely sure that everything is fine, and then my time suddenly is like down to 6 minutes, which was another problem for me when I was younger. I was always slow thinker. Like I was like Grishuk, but not playing like Grishuk.
Yeah, I have to say that I was always decent in time trouble over the board, but just online, I find my hands are shaking all the time. You know, it was we were playing not chess then, we were playing shogi, which is playing for the Great Britain team, Natasha and I, and so I had my game, and with shogi you have 60 seconds to make your move. You know, it's just 60 seconds every move.
It's like American time control.
Exactly.
Yeah, they call it Iomi.
Yeah, you don't build up time. You just have. And do you know that I've lost on time twice? Just panicking at the last moment, and my hands trembling, and I can't get the mouse over to the. It's really amazing, and I do find
it's surprisingly easy to lose on time at that.
Yeah. Playing online, it's a different sort of nerves. I really find that I really get completely full of nerves when that's happening. Whereas over the board, I was. Decently or felt decently calm in myself at least, you know, but it's getting used to it. And I think that the long time control in this event is quite tricky because you're really not used to staring at the screen that calmly for so long. You know, stuff has to happen, right? You know, and that's very easy to play very fast. You know, just because you say, come on, I can't stare at a screen for 5 minutes. Come on, play straight away. You know, and it's tricky. It's tricky.
I think it's also when you are playing over the board, you are able to stand up and go around, and sometimes look at the position from another angle. But when you're playing online, like you can flip the board, but you don't feel this sense of the pieces like an over the board. And I think also this feeling of not being able to control your connection. I don't know if you saw, but my connection in this hotel was not very stable. Yesterday, on the first day, I saw that the clock is flashing from time to time.
Yeah.
And it also, even though I know that I have a lot of time to reconnect, it still gets on your nerves.
Yeah, that would make me nervous for sure.
And we'll remember the
you don't feel like you can control it.
Yeah, we all remember the problems during the online Olympiad with the Indian players. It's not as important or event probably as that, but you still don't want to lose on time after playing for 2 hours.
Well, exactly. Yeah, that's especially in a long game like this. I mean, a blitz game you can accept it maybe, but you know, this is a 2-hour game, so you really don't want to lose. Don't want to lose because of a disconnection, and it feels very unfair somehow when it happens. It's but your game today, you no risk of disconnections, no risk of getting short of time. This was all pretty good, right?
I was a little bit short on time, but that position I was already confident that I should be winning, but I still was a bit overprotective probably at some moments. I could have won with 8 XP3 earlier, but shall we look at it?
Let's go through it.
Wrong free attack. No,
it's a close Sicilian there.
Yeah, it was. I looked at a couple of games. I thought that my opponent normally plays knight f3 and then bishop b5 against knight c6.
Okay.
Because I'm a very well-known Sveshnikov player, but I felt like all of my opponents, the same as the first round, she also played bishop e5. But here she stumbled me a little bit, but I did play what I know. But then d3, I felt like it's too passive maybe for the white player to play like that. D3,
yeah, it's going to transpose, I guess, to a normal sort of closed Sicilian. So I have seen a d3 on move 3 is very early, but I have seen people playing this bishop e3 move before putting the bishop on g2. But I'm not quite sure. I couldn't quite tell you what the idea is.
Yeah, I think normally the idea is to delay the bishop moves as long as possible, to not to give away your setup to the opponent and see what they do.
Yeah, yeah.
So like they would play maybe. I expected f4, to be honest, like something more ambitious.
Yeah, no, it is indeed all possible. Yeah, h3 was played, knight f6. That's all very sensible. Queen d2, knight d4.
Your opponent is Suzanne Barry. Have you played her before?
No, never. I've never played any of the players, neither qualifiers nor in the main event who are already.
Oh, fantastic! Oh, that's nice, isn't it? That's always nice to have a good.
As I said, most of them were not even born when I already retired from chess.
Well, if that's the case for you, Maria, just think what it's like for me. You know, it's just it's really you know, it feels so long ago.
At least you don't hang your pieces.
Well, that's because I'm not playing. That's because I'm not playing. That's I wouldn't feel confident about that. so white castle queenside, which was very.
Yeah, that's one
unusual, isn't it, for closed Sicilian? You'd normally go kingside.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, and she spent quite some time thinking on that, and I thought it was not very good.
Yeah.
She gives me, well, she already lost, I think, a few tempes. I still expected either rook b1 or knight a4 and then maybe b3, and then f4, f5, and like some kind of attack, because she has everything for that. And that's why I did not castle yet, because I did not want to invite h4, h5, or g4, g5.
Yeah, that's well, actually, I mean, it worked out very well delaying castling, because your attack got was sort of turbo boosted somehow. a5, I like that move.
Yeah, I kind of regretted queen b6 because I cannot play b5 before. I have to move my queen first, and then but knight e4 I thought was a mistake, because she gets b6 with the tempo.
Yeah, you lose tempi when the pawn advances.
Yeah, I thought that maybe knight d5 or again, I did not want to see f4, f5 or h4, h5. But of course, I already know that I'm faster here.
Yeah. No, I mean, no, you're doing very, very well here. Yeah, I mean, maybe f4 would be reasonable for white, or that would be the most natural thing. But yeah, obviously, white got very worried about the oncoming storm. But
maybe a4 even is fine here, because if I play like queen c6, b5, she can take on d4, and I don't have enough.
You want to play? What were you saying then? Knight.
If she plays a4 against my a5.
Ooh, okay.
I don't know. I did not even look at the game with this computer yet, actually.
Yeah. Feels very, very risky to do that. I mean, something like bishop d7 and queen b4 coming in looks very, very risky to me. Yeah, this queen side is really, really weak for white. I'd maybe think more about playing f4 and trying to get in.
Yeah, I think f4 is probably the best.
Yeah. That's quite a decent. At least you're because then e5, if the knight moves away, you might get knight d5, and at least you're putting some pressure on black. It's
and my b pawn will be pinned. There's more g4s there later as well, and I probably already should castle here or bishop e6 first.
Yeah, castle.
But it's a pretty balanced position, and probably all three results are possible.
Yeah, I think so. I think it's but as black, you know, from that's always nice. Yeah, that you're not just playing for a draw, but you're also got a chance of a win as well. That's always a good result as well. But yeah, White tried to sort of hold you back a little bit, but unfortunately, there just ended up making it more powerful. You
This
just
is fast now.
Maybe she didn't expect that I will put the queen on the same diagonal with the bishop, but of course, currently her pawn is pinned.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And b3 is, of course, also allowing me to play b5 and maybe even a4 immediately. A4, and now a3 is a threat. And of course, Rookie, she took on d4. When she took on d4, I was already very confident.
Yeah.
Because it's opening the c file and releases the pressure. And
yeah, I mean, this is really this is. I mean, it's already very, very awkward. I mean, just a3 is threat. I mean, ab is a huge threat as well. So.
Yeah, I think even AB, I'm not sure if I would have pushed A3 even. I probably would have taken on B3.
Yeah, AB, I mean, it's really, really strong. I don't...
Yeah, because she can't take back because of rook A1.
Yeah,
if you try and stop it by like moving the pawn or something, then you've got to worry about knight B3 checks as well.
Yeah, I mean, this is...
But that one's pretty, isn't it?
It is quite pretty, yeah. No, I mean, it's really very, very dangerous there. So, I mean, bishop D4... C takes d4. Obviously, this is pretty huge now because they got this gorgeous control of this square, and this knight is very, very bad here. Really suffering that knight. So f4 with that little threat of e5, of course.
Yeah, and here I had like 15 minutes left, and I thought that e5 is definitely keeping all of the threats. But I really wanted to play a takes b3 and on e5. Well, my idea was a takes b3, e5, queen c3, and she cannot take the queen.
Yeah.
But here she simply has a4, and I'm still winning, but it's a bit more difficult. Like I am dropping the knight. And I still have to prove. I didn't want to sacrifice anything.
Yeah.
Really. Yeah. Without me making sure about. If she had to take on c3, then of course it would be really nice because if she takes my rook, I just take on a2, and everyone wants to win this way.
Trying to get.
But she doesn't have to take my rook, of course.
Yeah, no, it's. I'm just trying to get this.
It's still a4, probably the only move.
Yeah, no, it's true. I'm just trying to. There we are. Finally, he's decided to move. So e5. We could go knight d5 here. This would be
enough. That's probably the best move. Or maybe, knight d5. Yeah, I think so.
Because we got some, again, White's got such severe problems here. I mean, obviously AB, we've got our rook a1 mate again, and
also knight is coming to c3 in some.
Yeah, exactly. So that would have been strong too. But I mean, e5 is very solid. I mean, there's not any doubt at all that that this is completely winning. I mean, we're still threatening AB and also A3 as well. So these are massive threats, really.
I thought she will take on A4. This is probably the best chance.
Yeah, I think taking on here is the best move here.
And then I probably should play... I think I was planning to play bishop E6.
Yeah, I think that's pretty
is better.
Yeah, bishop B6 is very strong. I mean, yeah, I mean, this is really so bad for White. You're going to castle, get your rooks in. I mean, it's looking quite horrible for White there. I mean, White played rook e1, and then we got this move A takes b3 in. Oops.
Yeah, rook e1. She probably just tried to save the knight.
Exactly. Yeah.
Of course, that's not the best. No, not the biggest threat here.
No, AB is a massive threat. My goodness. It's so that was well. She played A4, which was probably the only move I think in this position, and B takes A4. B takes A4.
Knight C4.
And then Knight C4.
And here I spent, I think, 15 minutes thinking, or yeah, maybe like 10 minutes. And I was thinking like I should play A3, or I should play Bishop A6, or Knight D7, C5. And then at the very last moment, I played H5.
Okay.
Like, I almost didn't think about this move. I thought just all the threats are still there, and she cannot take on E5 because of Bishop H6, and I might want to play Bishop H6 myself. I first wanted to play Knight H5, but I always don't want to put the pieces on the edge. Oh, thank you so much for the raid, Yan Nepomniachtchi, the new Russian champion is raiding me.
Oh, wow.
That's nice. Спасибо, Jan.
Yeah, it's a lovely move. Very nice move. Just stopping anything happening, and Bishop H6 is coming in. So King B2 was played. Bishop E6. Queen B4 and castles finally.
Yeah. Here I thought, let's just be safe. Just castle.
It's a good idea. Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that.
And of course, Rook B8 is coming.
Bring Rook B8 into there as well. And this was nice. This was very nice. Queen D2. Bishop takes C4. Takes. And A3 check.
Look at this position.
Space invaders coming in. Rook A3. Rook A3. King A3. And
yeah, I wanted to play B2. I know that on stream you played B2, but I thought that Queen A6 and mate is faster, maybe by a couple of moves.
It's all good. It's all good.
Why not?
I really wanted to play B2 in many lines. I always wanted to, like, before, I think instead of, at some point I wanted to sacrifice on A3. Maybe here instead of castle, maybe.
Could be for maybe.
Yeah, like instead of castle, A3.
Let's have a look. A3.
And if she takes with a knight, I initially was thinking Queen C3. Queen C3, D3, but then I realized she doesn't have to take my pawn. She will take, well, she doesn't. Yeah, she has to take.
Yeah, you're going to win a piece. You're going to win a piece.
Yeah, somehow I forgot that I have the bishop on E6. I thought she will just pick up B3 and I have to start over. But this also worked.
Yeah, this also worked. But I think castles is a much nicer move. You know, bring all the pieces into play, get the rook into play, and you know, that's. Yeah, I mean, I think Rook B8 is quicker. It's definitely always gonna mate this one. It's and
yeah, because you always want to play something beautiful as well, but
yeah, I mean, if white plays Queen D6, then you can go A3.
A3 probably has King B1, and then I still have to castle. I have to castle anyway.
Yeah, I think you always castle's a great move. I mean, I think
castle is a great move, that's for sure.
Yeah, activating the rook, bringing it into play, that's always going to be fantastic. That's no, I mean that's really, really good. A very good game. So you're back on 2 out of 3. So tomorrow's the big day, right?
Yeah, I still feel nervous.
Yeah, you'll need what, one and a half, probably 1.5 to qualify, maybe.
Yeah, I think it should be enough. But also, I saw that a few players either withdrew or missed a couple of rounds.
Okay. Oh, right. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe even 3 is enough. But of course, it's better to
Nice
not
to get
get
more
ahead of yourself and just one game at a time.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's,
Brilliant. Well, thank you so much for showing us the game, and really good luck for tomorrow. We'll be following.
Thank you. Yeah, and good luck with the commentary.
Oh, thank
Hope
you
you
very
will have a lot of nice games, and thank you
Yes.
for all what you do.
Thank
Brilliant.
You.
Changing the game.
Thank you, Maria.
Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you, Natasha, Matthew.
Bye.
Okay, I will disconnect now.
Okay.
Brilliant.
I think that is all the games finished.
Fantastic. We've had some good guests on the show. Fantastic
We
to
have.
get people to share their stories. Really nice.
It's very nice. See the people behind the
screen,
indeed. Names.
And the rather strange names. That's right. It's so
this is really chess, and I guess because Maria does a lot of streaming.
Exactly. Yes.
Photography. Yes.
Yeah. No, it's excellent. So so there we are. I mean, I suppose that's going to be it for today.
Yeah.
We will be back tomorrow at 11
time, isn't it? 12:50.
12:50. That's right, UK time, and also at 18:50 UK time. And this is going to be a thriller tomorrow.
Yes. Tomorrow we will see who takes those qualification spots in the Opens and the Women's Championship.
Exactly. And yeah, there's been some shocks today. You know, so pretty unclear who is going to qualify. There's nobody, you know, clear that you can really say absolutely. So it's going to be great. It's going to be really good. So please do join us tomorrow. Remember, subscribe to our channel if you're feeling kind. That always does us a lot of good. And otherwise,
and if you're watching the stream and it takes your fancy to play a bit of chess, I think it's still possible to register for some of the events like the Rapid Play and the Blitz, so please do consider that. There's also, if you're would prefer to play weaker players, there's like under 1400, under 1700, I think. I'm kind of making up these categories, but there's limited rating events as well, so you can kind of pick the level you want to play at.
Yeah, I mean, that would be, yeah, I mean, please, yeah, and of course, if you play an
event.
Let
us know. Yeah, and we will try and drop in on your games.
Exactly. So, yeah, I mean, just, yeah, do join in, because it really is a lovely event, this one. Okay, well, thanks very much for watching, and hopefully see you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow. Thanks for watching.